Ladies and gents, welcome. We have the round of 16 in Wandering Warriors Cup 2. This has been a tournament where there's just been games all the time. A lot's been happening, and we are finally here. We got like 2 weeks left. There will be lots of games. This is our first round of 16 set. In the red, we have TaToH, the third rank or seed in the bracket. So one of the big favorites. He's playing as the Romans here. And then we have Mihai playing as the Armenians. And I am going to have to switch some of my mods. So actually, since the small trees isn't actually like working already, I may just do this. And the trees stay the same. And then we don't have the weird fish mod. Mihai is seed 14. Or rank 14. For him, he didn't actually play the previous rounds because we had a unfortunate instance where his opponent wasn't available. And so I'm curious to see, that's a big jump, right? He would have been up against someone who's also in the top 20, top 30 range, but not necessarily top 10. Did get kind of an easy pass there. He's looked good this tournament. He's looked great, but this is TaToH we're talking about on the other side. So quite a jump. TaToH, he was up against Dragonstar, who's somewhere around 30th rank in the bracket. TaToH went down 2-1, had to come back and win 3-2, so he has been vulnerable as well. So TaToH is the Romans. And he's down here towards the south. And then we got Mihai more towards the north. And the map is Golden Hill. Lots of stone, lots of gold available in the middle. And we've seen the meta develop. I think in the early rounds, we'd see lots of people kind of ignore the middle and just go for water. But what I've been seeing more recently is we're seeing tower rushing in the middle. We're seeing archers in the middle. We're seeing people really fight for this in combination with water. So someone says TaToH's got gold scarcity on his side. Well, I mean, both people have gold scarcity. That's kind of how the map works, right? You've got 7 tiles of gold available on each side. And so there is no difference there. I guess for TaToH, he may need to travel a little bit further to take his gold. But only 7 tiles of gold available on each player's side, and then the rest of the golden stones towards the middle. I know some people have gotten pretty used to me adding the player seeds in the bracket here, so I'll put that here. I think we'll keep that consistent up until the quarters. Like, it's really important in the early rounds because a lot of you guys don't know the players. A lot of you people. The way I said that was unnecessarily aggressive. But yeah, I think once we get past the round of 16, I'll no longer have that. Most of the players will be known. It won't necessarily be as valuable, but for now we'll have it. Especially with Mihai being a bit of an up-and-comer. Some people might still have not seen a lot from him. I think I prefer the Armenians here. I mean, Romans do have the 5% additional efficiency bonus, which is just like super helpful. So if the game is even economically, and TaToH's actually slightly ahead right now, so that's already nice. That 5% greater efficiency is just always going to help you. And that's a big reason why I think the Romans were picked. I don't think the Romans were picked for their infantry armor. I don't think the Romans were picked for their scorpions. But it's just, you know, the good economy and overall setup allows you to do some pretty nice things. Now, Romans can't make demos. They're one of 2 civs that can't. So for that reason, I don't think you would want to go fire galleys against fire galleys with the Romans. But the Armenians typically do tend to go galleys. And the Armenians get the extra galley bolts from their galley. So then it's like, well, do you want to try fire ships then if you know the Armenian player just has the better galleys? It is kind of a tricky matchup for the Romans on water, in my opinion. Guys, I'll make sure like small trees is on for the future games. It's just the small tree mod isn't working here. So I'll have to just do a quick restart then. So TaToH bringing in a board from a pretty far distance. We'll probably need to house trick this one, but it's become so consistent at the top that it's just expected that that's going to happen now. And I know there's someone watching. It's probably a guy named Bill. I mean, it's such a Bill thing to think about. There's probably a guy named Bill who tries the house trick, and he always loses the Bill. So for any of the builders out there, I want to explain. So you don't just place the house foundation over the bore. You have to place the house foundation over the bore, and you have to hit the house foundation. Like, the villager has to bop the house foundation, and the bore still has to be on top of it. And that kind of de-aggroes the board. I have seen way too many people try the house trick. They do make it, you know, easier than it looks, the pro players. But I've seen too many people make mistakes there. So think it's not so easy for people to realize you actually have to hit the foundation. Now, look at this. TaToH's going to get loom. He's going to click up in a second. He's got 5 fishing ships, which is way more than you would typically see. Especially when you may lose them here in a second. He's sending a Vil to the middle. Almost feels like his plan is to make a dock, though. And the Mihai has actually built the mule cart in the middle. And so he's going to mine the gold in the middle, which I really like, because then you save the rest of that gold for later. And seems to me like the plan is galleys for him, but he could build a barracks here. And he's going to make a dock there. TaToH going to make a dock here. But a minute faster is Mihai. Now, there's kind of a downside to that. The downside to that is his eco's a little bit more fragile. Like, TaToH still has some of the extra boar meat. And TaToH's got the lumber camp up. But, like, I guess if you have the mule cart, you don't necessarily need to worry about rushing a lumber camp for double bit axe, because you have this mule cart. You can research your wood upgrade here. And then the rest of the wood villagers get affected by that. So it's kind of a mix. Like, TaToH's uptime, I think, is late. But Mihai's is also really fast. TaToH's got crazy resources to work with. I mean, look at what he has in the bank. When he makes it to the next stage, he's going to be in a good spot. Mihai clearly wants this to be only water, and he recognizes the potential of a sneak, so he's even walling this. I think TaToH is flirting with the idea of trying to sneak the Vil. It could also be an outpost in the middle. And yeah, he's going to build a house there. And Mihai doesn't actually see it, but now he sees the house foundation as the galleys are looping around on both sides. So TaToH's going to go for fires. But Mihai's got the galley numbers out already. Now, 1v1, the fire ship will beat the galley. Once the galley masses up, though, is when things get tricky. Now, I think I've been saying this for 3 weeks now. The fire ship player needs to try and make this messy. Because galley micro TaToH. Dude, TaToH wants to wall in this Vil right now. That's what that was. That wasn't him trying to save his own Vil. He had an opportunity to wall in Mihai's Vil, and he was going to go for it. But yeah, TaToH loses his galley. Sorry, his fishing ship. But remember, he already had like 2 more than his opponent, so that's still kind of okay for now. And the fires are coming out. TaToH has a lot of wood right now. TaToH's got 500 wood banked up. He isn't really spending that, and Mihai's going to circle back home. Yeah, I think the galleys, they all really have to fight in one position here. I think if you're trying to split sides against the fires, it's going to be tricky. What you want to think about is the transition economy now for food. So TaToH's on pigs. We may eventually see a mill on the shorefish and the deer right here. Mihai's doing the same, transitioning onto the water. Still a Vil in the middle from TaToH that could maybe do something. Mihai doesn't seem too bothered, but he is paranoid, so he's going to drop a tower. The outpost really helps. And TaToH's fires, they're going to be roasted here, man. This is a problem now. So you have to avoid this galley mass. You have to hit different areas with those fires. And here they come. So they're coming this way, but the fish have already migrated down here. And I think TaToH knows, even though he doesn't see them, he kind of senses that if the galleys didn't go this way, they're probably coming back to kill him here. TaToH does have a lot of fires in queue, though. Like, he could get up to 9, and Mihai has stopped galley production. So I think Mihai is expecting that 6 galleys are enough. And he doesn't want to overinvest into the galleys here. Which is kind of interesting. But, I mean, he could get caught out. TaToH sees the galleys. He's kept his fishing ships alive. TaToH's collected 900 more resources. What in the world? It's pretty crazy. A lot of that's Romans, though. It's his initial build with the extra villagers and fishing ships, but it's also just the Roman efficiency. When you go for these super tight builds in Mihai's position, you get the army out fast, but also there is a disadvantage there. At the same time, it's like you kind of want to be the player who has 4 kills right now, and that's Mihai. 4 kills, 0 deaths, and even though the fire galley number is rising, TaToH still doesn't have an easy opportunity right now to get any kills. What's up, comrade? Welcome. Tante, thank you. Destiny, Sparky, thank you guys. Welcome in. 1 series today. The rest of the sets are going to be happening over the next few days. I'll explain that once we get a chance. I think it's really important that TaToH's keeping his fires alive, though, because it becomes a different talking point when we're talking Castle Age. Like, Castle Age fires are so good in the numbers we're talking right now. And so, naturally, it's important that Mihai starts to produce more galleys after he clicks up to Castle Age. Oh my god! We just had a full just passing from both of them. And this benefits TaToH hugely. And oh my goodness, no, Mihai's going to get completely trapped. And man, to get to Castle Age, he had stalled out the production and the upgrades. And now TaToH has an opportunity to move all over him here. That was disastrous for Mihai. It felt like it was manageable. Still may be manageable. Because he's still got the Vills in the middle. He's still got a decent number of galleys to micro. He's got fletching now. But TaToH's got so many freaking fire ships. Like, this is insane. And a couple of these galleys are really weak. Like, TaToH doesn't seem like he wants to force the issue. He seems to be really comfortable. But he comes in from the other side, and it's going to be a Mihai sandwich. And he crams himself into a choke point. But, oh, man, he's going to completely lose water. TaToH goes from not killing a unit to just basically killing everything here. And it's just one mistake, guys. You overextend one time, and then you get punished. TaToH will be later to Castle Age, just like he was later to Feudal. But he'll have around 10 fire galleys, and he's got a lot on stone right now, too. So I think TaToH's plan is actually to castle drop the middle. So if he could win water and then drop a castle in the middle, he does have an outpost there, so he could see what Mihai's up to. He knows there's no buildings. Could be really strong. Mihai's in a tough position. He wanted to have stone for a TC, but he fell off water so hard he actually just sold the stone to get more gold. So he thinks this is bad, where he can't boom and he has to try and recover. He's going to get War Galley now. So his ships will be upgraded. Here comes TaToH, though. If TaToH starts to build this castle, Mihai can't deny it unless he builds an immediate tower. He doesn't have the stone. And TaToH says, I see your church, and I'm going to drop a castle. This is perfect for TaToH. The only thing now we have to pay attention to is, will a big demo hit for Mihai? Because Mihai's going to have the upgraded ships. Over here, Mihai was bringing Vills to the middle. Here, Mihai can land a really nice demo. That was good work. But TaToH as well is also getting War Galley, so he'll have the upgraded fires too. And now he's got the golden stone in the middle. So Mihai tried to take he tried to go the galley route. He tried to go for the tower and mining the gold in the middle. And TaToH, he doesn't have like full water control because it's only 5 fires versus like 3 ships from Mihai, but feels like TaToH's honestly played the perfect game here. This has been super smooth. And Mihai, I think, is a little torn on what to make right now. To make 2 more War Galleys almost feels to me like that was a misclick. When you're so low on the War Galley numbers already, I kind of expected him to just stay on fires. But sometimes you're looking for a little bit of an edge. Now, the positive for Mihai would be he saved all this other gold, and he didn't build his church in the middle. So he gets that free relic just by building the church there. It's not like he gifted it to TaToH, and then he's still got the 7 tiles of gold. So the game could still end up going to the Imperial Age. I think I prefer the Armenians here in Imp. I think their navy's stronger than Romans. Land eco is probably advantage Romans, but you could do a lot here. If he ends up coming back with the galley numbers on water, he could do a lot of things here. But TaToH usually doesn't let a position like this slip. And TaToH's economy is looking so good. I mean, the resources collected, he's almost collected 2,000 more. And the eco KD is 4-1. So it's not like just because TaToH had these 4 fish or anything. It's just what he's been doing behind it has been sick. We've seen games where someone loses the middle after building a castle here. But they typically have the eco lead on the outside. So that's what Mihai's going to have to try and get to. And the way that works is you go for the superior eco. You mix in some navy with maybe some trebs. We've seen many games where that's happened, but I think when you see TaToH, it's like the guy feels inevitable. And certainly right now, with how things are playing out, like right here as well, Mihai just completely... He's not noticing! TaToH completely baited him out of position with that fire ship. It does get hit by a demo there. But really nice piece of work there from TaToH. He's on 2 TCs. No farms, though. Seeing TaToH use the market a lot here. So, I mean, if TaToH's not getting some farms up, it's not like he's going to be imp anytime soon. It's still just a lot of fires versus a lot of war galleys and demos. Still, though, no Bodkin arrow for Mihai. And so without Bodkin, you're lacking the range and attack. And TaToH's being really patient. Just sitting right next to all this. Just trying to repair these ships. These ships are super weak. Actually, does Mihai know he's repairing them right there? He does see some of them, but... like, if you had all vision right now and could just see how weak those ships were, you'd probably run in and snipe them, but... There's other things you look at here, if you're in Mihai's position. Advantage TaToH, 3 TCs now. Continues to use the market a lot. Buying food, buying wood. But he's still mining that gold in the middle. Still no Bodkin arrow. That's a nice demo for Mihai. 3 ships killed because of it. Guys, this is what we talked about. The galley number's getting pretty big here. And TaToH loses a fire ship to a conversion for Mihai. And if Mihai could just get 1 demo hit here, he might actually reclaim water. If he had the demo right now, he would easily kill all these ships. He's trying his best, hitting and running. Still no Bodkin arrow, remember. Probably thinks he has it at this point, or maybe he just couldn't afford it. The galley play is keeping Mihai in this game. Like, it feels like TaToH's going to lose a lot of resources on water. As long as Mihai can keep the micro up. Do Romans repair faster? I don't know if Romans repair faster. Does anyone in chat know? I think it's anything related to villagers. So they should repair faster. They should build a little bit faster as well, right? The chat's saying he canceled it. Did he cancel Bodkin? Maybe for an eco upgrade? Okay. I mean, this is where if TaToH had demos, he could surprise with a demo, and then maybe some of these galleys would just be toast. But because Romans don't get demos, Mihai doesn't have to worry about sailing in close. Still, 20 Vil lead for TaToH is pretty ridiculous. I actually think we're pretty close to TaToH trying to run through with something. Like, if he made a stable in the middle and got a knight or 2 in there, actually... Oh, that's a crazy demo. I think a knight would actually do very little because Mihai will have monks. But TaToH did take out that dock there. TaToH's got 15 fires. It's 15 galleys for Mihai. Props to TaToH. I mean, he just, even if the fires start to look worse, he just makes more. But I mean, this is his resource advantage getting sunk into a situation which could potentially be seen as a losing battle right now. He is going to add his own galleys, though. And yeah, I like that move. I think your own galleys, especially if he gets Bodkin arrow. TaToH essentially needs to overtake water before Mihai clicks imp, or before Mihai makes it to imp. And here goes TaToH. So he lost a fire ship to that monk. He's running in with centurions. The wall is up for Mihai, though. So Mihai knew TaToH would try and sneak in. It's really hard for Mihai because he has to micro this all the time. And so reacting to things like this becomes very difficult. So he is going to get really nice reaction in. But then how's the micro looking here? Is what you always have to think about. So far, the micros looked stellar. And he will click up to imp. TaToH's nowhere close. TaToH's navy isn't doing a lot here. Man, if Mihai could just get Bodkin and ballistics, like, he could still do this. I know it looks bad. But Armenians get Draman. And so he could get Bracer and Chemistry on the ships that are already kind of winning some fights. And then he could mix in some Dramans to push the castle, push the docks, push the middle. If he controls the water, he can come back in this game. A big demo there from Mihai on the War Galley switch from TaToH. But TaToH does have 11 War Galleys on the field. So his galley mass is going to be similar to Mihai's here in a second. More docks coming up from TaToH. Again, he has Bodkin Arrow. I think Mihai, he thinks he has it. So he's probably going to go to click Bracer when he makes it Imp, which is in 2 minutes. And then he's going to realize, oh crap, I haven't had Bodkin Arrow this whole time. Yeah, that's definitely what's going to happen. We've seen it so many times over the years. TaToH, I think, like, he's reached a point where he's not spending any food on anything but villagers. And as Mihai overextends there ever so little, I think TaToH might just need to idle his TCs for a second so he can click Imp. The way TaToH loses this game is if he's too late to Imp. His eco setup's pretty perfect to click up soon. He's had the middle gold control still. And he has lots of docks to still produce. Really just needs to get up. But he might not know that Mihai's 30 seconds away from going up. Mihai really needs the ballistics upgrade too. A little shaky for Mihai. Like, the miss micro we saw earlier in the game was a little surprising. But we've just got very high standards at this point. And he's gonna go to click Bracer, and it's Bodkin. Now, if he uses the hotkeys and doesn't actually look at the blacksmith, which some people do, he might not even realize he doesn't have Bracer. In my case, I clicked blacksmith text, so I would be like, oh crap, because I would see it. I'm gonna assume he saw it, and now he's gonna immediately get Bracer. Yeah, see, okay, there we go. Now Bracer's coming in. Okay, so he realized he's getting it now. And he probably also realized he didn't have ballistics when he went to click the chemistry upgrade. TaToH 2 minutes away from Imp. But guys, Romans don't get Bracer. Like, Roman Navy is not really that good, especially if you're playing into War Galleys. So TaToH's going to go pure numbers, pure eco here. Look at the value destroyed. That's 2,000 more value destroyed for Mihai this game. So yeah, TaToH's collected more resources. But, like, how much of that is just going to be destroyed by the superior navy? And, man, no ballistics is really painful right now. He's missed so many volleys. Surely he thinks... Surely he realizes, like, right there. Now he's going to get ballistics, right? He's going to click it now. There's no way he doesn't notice he doesn't have ballistics after that. He does have Dramans on the way to destroy the docks. TaToH's hiding in the back. TaToH's got a ridiculous economy, but... he's producing onto water. And so his docks are getting focused down, right? Like, that's a cost for TaToH. He doesn't really have a ton of docks. He's going to try and sink some docks up here. Mihai's going to get Galleon, and Mihai is starting to Drummond down the castle in the middle. Mihai's a couple good moments removed from being in the middle with the castle, with the gold control. He's got 3 relics. He's down 40 villagers, though. And now he sees TaToH is up. Now, does TaToH also not have ballistics? Man, these people are like me. They just completely hate university. That's crazy. Two like, dropouts over here. Like, what in the world? Like, you should have been in this university researching techs already for a super long time. I mean, ballistics is such a critical one. Forget about chemistry. Ballistics is massive. To see a no ballistics matchup is pretty ridiculous. But pressure's on. Even for the best of the best, pressure's on. TaToH's navy over here is actually going to be cut off. Oh, this castle is so sick for Mihai. This castle is amazing. Look at this. TaToH can't go through now. If TaToH moves in, he moves into castle fire. So now TaToH has to loop his whole navy back around this way. And look what Mihai is doing. He's waiting there. He's sensing some fire ships could come in. Will he notice it? He's not noticing. He's focused over here. TaToH's fires will go in. They will snipe at Draman. Mihai notices. Mihai is taking a better fight over here because he has Bracer. TaToH's got so many ships, though, guys, and his castle still stands. Any little bit of gold that he can mine is so critical here. Unique now coming in for the Armenians. Silesian fleet makes the navy even stronger. But TaToH's got 20 fires, plus he's got the 30 galleons. If TaToH could transport Vils over and build some stables, like anything to raid Mihai's eco, Mihai can't stabilize. But if this is full water, Mihai actually has a chance. And for the love of God, it's bothering me they both don't have ballistics right now. I'm kind of losing my mind. How do you not know? TaToH gets chemistry, then he queues ballistics. Let's say, so TaToH, he just looked at the university when he went for chemistry and realized he didn't have that. Now, Silesian fleet adds some blast radius to the demos as well. So if the Armenian player can get heavy demo here, it could be absolutely insane. Feels like Mihai is trying to save for that. Or maybe he's going to be okay with using regular demos because it still adds something. TaToH's coming in from both sides. Where are the demos? The demos are connecting. And Mihai is kind of stuck in this little corner, but I still think... it's just crazy, but I still think it's winnable. Especially if he gets ballistics. He's actually going to get dry dock now. Whoa. TaToH needs a landing. I think with the landing of some kind, TaToH's inferior navy could still add up, could still do something. And then you just have a little bit of an extra edge with even just a few light cav raiding on land. TaToH recognizes he's got the superior eco. He just needs to outlast his opponent here. But can he when this navy is so strong? If he dives in, the demos hit or the castle hits. Now fight continues here. And Mihai dodging ballistics. TaToH's still producing so much here, though, guys. And so the galleon number is 19 for TaToH. It's 35 for Mihai. Mihai has taken the score lead, guys. Mihai has taken the score lead. Can the underdog do it? Just with pure galleons and eventually Dramans. What's his gold situation like? Okay, so he's got 900 gold remaining, and then he won't have anything at all. So he's very much on the clock. I don't think he'll ever get ballistics unless he physically sees that ballistics isn't in. But, like, you don't go to the university for any other techs right now. Maybe you get masonry here. I don't think so, though. Mihai getting desperate. He's going to run in. Guys, look at the resources destroyed bottom left. 8,000 more resources destroyed for Mihai. His army, his navy in this case, has just been significantly stronger. Like we said, TaToH's resources collected. He's sinking resources into just bad army compared to what his opponent can do. Here comes a castle for Mihai. TaToH's going to make a treb instantly. And TaToH's still trying to group around the fires on the other side. He'll run past the castle. Mihai still has to hit and run here. The pathing is clunky. The castle will go up for Mihai, but it might not stay up because TaToH will have the trebs. And TaToH's on the other side with the fires now. There's so many galleons in this choke point. But if you can kill them if you're TaToH, and then you can take out this castle, Mihai won't be able to make much more. Mihai's almost completely out of gold. Oh, and TaToH just got the transport over. So TaToH's now going to be here with Lycav. At least I assume that's what he's going to produce there. Mihai needs to push one of these castles down. Even just taking the middle castle down so he can mine a little bit of gold is critical right now. And TaToH's Lycav upgrades on the way. The only thing I could really suggest for Mihai to do if he knows about the landing is probably wall. Like, you just don't have an eco to really defend from that. You have to ignore it as much as possible. TaToH needs to repair these castles with everything he has. And just hold the line. Keep this up. The KD's not going to be pretty, but you don't win based on the KD. Who cares? TaToH's already accepted that the KD's not going to be good. TaToH almost collected 20,000 more resources. Crazy. Here comes the Lycav. So I think we're going to see these churches so the Vils can hide and hop inside of them. That's Mihai's strategy. But TaToH's castles are still staying up. TaToH's Lycav are still going to get damage. It's a very fragile eco back there for Mihai. And he has no gold income. Sorry, he does have 5 on gold. There's still 400 left. That's not a lot. And I think Mihai is slowly coming to terms with the fact that he is going to lose this game. His castle will fall. He's landing crazy shots here, guys. But he can't get more than the 29 galleons that he has. He's going to lose some of them. He's going to lose Vils to the raids from TaToH. Raids coming in constantly. And still no access to gold or stone in the middle for Mihai. His ship count is going down. His Drawman just got sniped. And TaToH still needs to be able to afford more ships himself, by the way. Like, it's not like TaToH's completely rich himself. It's not like he has tons of gold banked. So it is still kind of a weird game where now Mihai's castle goes down, but TaToH's castle might still go down to the Drawmans and the Trebs. I think Mihai needs to bring... Okay, if this castle goes down, Mihai needs to bring all his Vils to the middle. He's going to go from no gold to everything on golds because he can't take wood either. This is pretty crazy. TaToH's killing some ships, but he loses a castle. Can he afford enough fires to take down the remaining galleons? There's 19 now. God, so many of them are so weak. Here comes Mihai with the Vils. He's doing what we said. Just going to run towards the middle now because home is not safe. TaToH wouldn't hate a tower or two here, honestly. Anything he can do. I think he's even using his Trebs against the ships right now. Is this going to be it? Fires around the other side from TaToH, so he's got a bit of a sandwich. We know the ships are weak here, and the GG's going to be called. Mihai knows his ships will go down. He knows he won't be able to stay on that gold in the middle, and TaToH wins the first game. Honestly, a really nice game from TaToH. I mean, from the start, it felt like TaToH's economy was stronger. I think a lot of that's Romans. We did also see the weakness of the Romans, though. Like, they really struggled winning a lot of these fights. So things got very dicey. But overall, I felt like a really good approach from TaToH. And he looked really solid in Feudal Age. Now, Mihai, I think maybe just the start to the series, maybe just the nerves that settle in, got him a little bit here. There's a miss micro or two in Feudal Age that was maybe the difference maker in his position in Castle Age. Because he just got completely overrun in Feudal out of nowhere. I don't think he expected TaToH's production. And then also missing some techs had to have hurt here. I mean, the game was somehow close, despite TaToH collecting 20,000 more resources. How big was ballistics here? I'm going to lean towards TaToH still getting the victory, even if Mihai does get ballistics, but it certainly would have been closer. I think TaToH would have eventually found a way to transport, though. Like, there was always that avenue here. There was always that avenue here. If things got tough, I think TaToH would have done that. But who knows? Maybe Mihai would have had more gold. There's the KD. Mihai's game plan was pretty good. Just go full water there and try and ignore land. I thought it was a good strat. But TaToH's boom back at home was ridiculous. You're not going to see an eco discrepancy like this in any other games in this series. I can promise you that. That's just insane. Oh, shoot. Chat, you didn't remind me about the trees. Well, okay, game number 2. TaToH switches colors. We're going to switch it back. And we have Boundary Brawl. We've got TaToH in the red, of course. We got Mihai here in the yellow. Now, I said in the very first week of this tournament, I'm going to give myself a little pat in the back, that I think Huns are absolutely overpowered on this map. And so I'm curious to see how things play out. So you have the middle all visible. And there's a couple trees here. There's the bushes. There's the Hun. Each player has 2 rhinos on the back of their TC area. So you could see, I mean, TaToH gets instant loom. TaToH could run over there and try and steal one of these. I'd say Mihai would probably be able to do something about it. Now, the reason I think Huns are broken is because the horse. And it's not just like the scouting, which is super important, but it's all these buffaloes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's so many buffaloes, I'm not even going to count them right now because it's just, it would take too much time. And so that's one aspect of it. You find all the buffaloes. So you find them. That's 150 food each. But you can also use the buffaloes to scout the back of the map where you can find the wood lines and the golds that otherwise you don't know about. And then later use the horse to scout where the opponent goes when they leave the middle. I think it's really solid. And this is actually, in my opinion, like, this is a big enough commitment here. Also kind of surprised Mihai hasn't taken his Rhino yet. Looks like he's about to. I think if Mihai loses this game, this is going to be a real gut-wrenching loss. Because he's already down a game. This is his #1 Civ pick. It's like, he is counting on this being a victory if he's going to win the series today. To lose with your #1 pick, go down 2 games would really hurt confidence. And maybe even affect performance. So we'll see. Obviously, we want a competitive series, so kind of leaning towards Mihai proving himself right here about the hunts. Let the horses run around. The horses found the buffaloes. And there's going to be like 10 or so buffaloes available later on. Now, TaToH has picked the Goths. And so TaToH, he's got a Civ where the hunt lasts a little bit longer, and then they also get the instant loom. Funnily enough, he didn't research loom yet. So he clearly doesn't care too much about that. But the thing that I've seen from Goths before is they try and find where you built your lumber camp and your mining camp on the outside. And they'll go forwardville and make it messy out there. So I think what Mihai's going to want is a smooth opening to feudal. He wants to go galleys to try and win water because that's pretty strong and then adapt. TaToH is going to go try and make this super messy. And so what TaToH can do, guys, look at it from this perspective, right? TaToH can see the middle, and pretty soon he's going to see Mihai's villas make a run for it. And you go based on the direction Mihai's villagers go, and then you kind of know where he's going to lumber camp most likely. So we know Mihai's going to go here to this wood line because it's the only one he's scouted. But TaToH doesn't know that. So if Mihai were to go like this direction, then TaToH needs to know if he's going to go for a sneak. Now, I'm saying he's going to go for a sneak. I could be super wrong on that. But I'm also fairly confident with the prediction. So you guys can call me a noob if I'm wrong. But if TaToH doesn't go for a sneakville with Goths here, I think he has problems. Because the dock's up already for Mihai. Mihai's got crazy good start. He's got all the buffalo. Like, I said the last week of this tournament, hunts would never be available for this map. I think they're going to be banned. They're that strong. They're either first pick or ban, in my opinion. And it was first pick here for Mihai, so maybe TaToH thought this wouldn't be picked, and then he could snag them. TaToH, no horse to scout things like Mihai's scouting right now. He's going to see the wood line. I Gaitama in chat says, sorry if this was discussed. Isn't it best of 7? It's best of 5. I don't think it was ever supposed to be a best of 7. The quarterfinals are best of 7s, though, which is a little different than some other events. But this is round of 16. So round of 8 is when the quarters happen. All right, so there we go. You see the villagers running this way. So now, if TaToH's thinking about sneaking or anything, he should have an idea. The villas are most likely over here. TaToH clicks up. TaToH does add a dock very late. So maybe he wants to make a fire galley or 2. But, I mean, look at the difference in scouting, man. Like, Mihai's not even playing Nomad. Like, this horse is a complete game changer. And before anyone's like, horse OP, I think it's more OP on this map than most other maps, right? I do agree it's very strong for things like Land Nomad. But if these buffaloes weren't here, I wouldn't be near as strongly opinionated on the Huns being strong here. The buffaloes being an aspect of the map is pretty good. Other civs that don't have the horse, you'll see players use their fishing ships to go around and collect the buffaloes. So it's pretty cool stuff. Zara says T90, I think MBL made Huns look 9 times as strong by going offensive Navy first and kicking his opponent out of water. Well, I mean, I think that's the best play. So, I agree MBL had a perfect game plan in the game that you're mentioning. But MBL wasn't the only one. Like, there were some early rounds where I saw Huns. The first person who did it was Timo. Shout out to Timo. He lost in the first round in a crazy 3-2 banger against Cloud. But there were a bunch of players who prepped with Huns, and it looked like seriously strong here. And I think people's opinions have changed a little bit over time. Because I remember saying that, and I'm not going to name names here, but there were some pros who said in my chat, why would you pick Huns here, lol, you know, when I was talking about it. And I think 3 or 4 weeks later, they're like, oh, shoot. We get it now. Look at this. So I think Mihai is expecting to be forwarded. He's looking with the Buffalo. He's looking here. He's dropping a tower. Like, he is fully expecting that sneak bill from TaToH, but TaToH's just not doing it, which is pretty wild. Someone in my chat remembers which pro said, why would you pick Huns here? Oh, no. Barracks now from TaToH back at home. Now, what happens with TaToH's vills when he finishes these berries? I suppose, in theory, they could become farmers. But, guys, if they can't get to the outside because there's Navy, this could be a real problem for TaToH. Is kind of my point. And Mihai's galleys, they see the fire galley. They could chase this down, micro this down. Mihai's in a really smooth position right now. He'll have no worries on the outside, even if there is an attack, because that tower protects it all. So the food and the gold is on the outside, and the wood and the gold's on the outside, and now the food is right underneath the TC. All the new vills just go to work on food. It's really sick. TaToH is a creative mastermind. I'm really excited to see what TaToH does to get himself out of this situation. Because I'm not seeing a single aspect of the game which looks good for TaToH right now. He's going to lose his fish. His vills will eventually run out of res. His fire galley, I guess, is the only positive. Like, maybe that does a little bit of damage. He will drop a stable to go for scouts. And maybe not a bad plan, but it's taken a lot of time. Like, if he was going to go scouts as his initial plan, don't we think we would have seen that already? Sometimes the late scout rush is better than the fast scout rush, because they're very secure at this time. They're like, he won't scout rush me. He would have done it already. Galleys kind of range the wood line, which I think TaToH's prepped for. And look, the horse sees it, dude. Huns OP. I'm telling you, like, this horse is an absolute game changer. Sneaky scouts won't do a thing now, because the horse just runs in and gets a peek at it. Yeah. Maybe a bold statement, but I stand by my point. I really think last time we'll see Huns on Boundary Brawl. Potentially. They are just simply that good. But there are a lot of other civs that are good in a lot of maps that people might want to ban out. So, in this particular draft, they could have... Here's what's crazy. They could have both actually picked Huns first, because the first pick is a hidden free pick. I think... What did TaToH go for first, guys? Anyone remember? I think it might have been Bengalis, which clearly wasn't a plan here, so... Yeah, fast castling against Huns might be a decent enough idea, because if you try anything in Feudal Age, they kind of know what you're up to. Here is TaToH's scout, getting his vision now, looking for some damage. Probably assumes the villagers are over here. He may also think that the score is just essentially scouting, which it is. That's some of it. But walls are up for Mihai already. Those scouts won't accomplish much for TaToH. TaToH is trying to do what he can, though. The random demo and the random fire going to loop around, potentially kill something. But there goes Mihai on the way to the Castle Age. It's kind of funny. They are sharing the hunt in the middle right now. That's actually something you can't allow if you're Mihai. I think you should be fighting that back. But obviously, he's focused on a bunch of different things here. And I would say... I would say Cav Archers would make a lot of sense for Mihai. He could also just go for the economic lead, but he doesn't have the stone for a TC because he built the tower. I will say, the tower... Usually it's tower or walls. And I think he built the tower because he, like I, was expecting TaToH to go forward Vill and make it crazy. So it kind of made sense at the time. And then the walls, when he did add them, also made some sense. By the way, TaToH... I mean, he hasn't killed a unit yet. And he does click up the Castle Age. mean, if TaToH can hang in this game, I think the Goths completely wiped the Huns in late stages, right? Like, Huns really struggle against the lead Huskarl and Halb compared to some other civs. So maybe that's TaToH's thinking right now, is he is the favorite. He's just going to hang in here, try and boom. Because this could be a really tough matchup for the Huns later on. Mihai is going to send some Vils to stone so we can eventually build the second TC. But honestly, he didn't do that ahead of time. So he won't have the second TC yet. He doesn't have a market to buy the stone either. So it does delay the TC. Potential positives for TaToH. TaToH does not know about the tower, which is super funny. Like, the tower is perfectly placed for TaToH to not be able to see it. It would actually help TaToH if he saw that. Oh, there we go. Now TaToH's full of confidence all of a sudden. He's like, oh. Would be pretty wild if TaToH says, oh, we built a tower. Where's his stone? And immediately goes here. Siege Workshop in the middle for Mihai. I mean, Mihai is going to try and kill all these Vils. Guys, these Vils can't escape. Like, TaToH has 11 Vils here, and soon some more Vils, because he's going to produce, that are just going to be completely toast. He would need to reclaim water or something, and that's not possible. Mihai's all over water. This is such a tough position for TaToH. He's housed at the moment, too. Knights coming through. Mihai, I'd say he's doing everything right here. Potential siege towards the middle. Trying to raid the back area of TaToH's base. TaToH is going to get some value with the scouts. Or try to anyways. He's really trying. But I don't think he's going to kill that much. TaToH like... Whatever TaToH's boom is going to look like on the outside, it needs to be ridiculous. Mihai, don't kill your own Vils. That's what TaToH wants you to do. TaToH really wants him to attack his own villagers right now. Okay, nice work there from TaToH. Nice work from TaToH to defend from the Knights. TaToH's still housed, by the way. He's losing... He must be losing multiple houses on the shoreline. It looks like he is. What a great strat from Mihai. This is sick. Great drafting. I think he's played it near perfect. Second TC's on the way. Res collected might be close, but, like, it's not going to be when these Vils are gone. TaToH's going to run with 3 of them. If he can get away with escaping with some of these, maybe he could still make it late. His food eco is here, though. That's a problem. These Vils are getting roasted. And the 5 or so villagers here, as TaToH is housed again, by the way. TaToH has been popcap nonstop since early Castle Age. He's probably building more houses somewhere, thinking he's fine, but he continues to lose them so much faster than you would typically. Okay, he escapes with these. Oh my god, TaToH, you're still housed, bro! You're still housed! Build houses! Okay, he fixed it somewhere. I don't even know. Okay, this guy. Oh, of course he made the houses on a shoreline, though. That's going to be a problem later on. Okay, there is a knight from TaToH. Just to try and save what he can in the middle. Just stall things out. But honestly, the most experienced players in this position, they're not even going to commit a ton to the siege push. Like, they've done enough. It's just full crazy boom behind. That's where Mihai needs to play it. Just drop some TCs. And as long as you do that, you've taken a TC out from TaToH. He's got Vils running away from fire ships. Maybe like late Castle Age is when you can go crazy army. You really don't need a lot more than you have right now. Yeah, this is looking like the game that ties it up for Mihai. Huns are Huns, man. Guys, I have to say, I mean, there's been a lot of civs introduced to the game the last couple years. Obviously, the meta has changed a lot from the Age of Conquerors days where everybody only played Hun Wars. But, like, it does make me, as a pure Huns fan, it does make me feel very happy that Huns are actually considered overpowered in a tournament setting for once. Because that just doesn't normally happen. Boundary Brawl is the map for the Huns, it seems. And Mihai's played a near perfect game. A couple eco upgrades could come in here or there, maybe. I think this is a situation for even a 4th TC, but no, he's now trying to raid. TaToH's got nothing, guys. He's got a spearman and he's got his town centers. Oh, God. And even here, TaToH's TC has been found. So if he doesn't notice this, this will be denied. Oh, beautiful job from Mihai. If only he attacked the weak villager first, but he has no idea the HP is low there. Yeah, the TC will complete for TaToH anyways. And so normally, when you're up against the Goths, you'd be concerned about going heavy knights because the pikemen. When you've got a lead like this, just who even cares? Just bring your siege on forward, make more knights. You could also switch to cav archers or something, but yeah, this is just crazy value. TaToH knows he's probably dead, but he doesn't have a horse to scout the map, so he's probably convincing himself that the scouting from Mihai in combination with the water from Mihai is really raising his score. So TaToH's maybe thinking he's only behind by like 15 vills or 20 vills. But he is currently behind by 28 vills. It could soon be 30. Mihai's house just scouted the double TC here. Did I say house? I meant to say horse. Sorry. Huns don't have houses, but they do have the horse. Yeah, Siege Workshop's huge. I mean, again, more knights probably on the way. And you just gotta continue to pick away at the sides here if you're Mihai. With how rare it is to fully dominate someone like TaToH, this is also a big confidence boost. This game going on a little bit longer is completely fine. It just makes you feel comfortable. Obviously, you got to start from the bottom up in the next game, but still, this is nice. Mihai's not going to complain too much. I think this game will not last much longer. TaToH is genuinely like... He's in an awful position. And he's just... His TCs weren't being pushed at all. He did get housed again because his houses on the shoreline went down. Called that. And TaToH's going to make a stable. Like, try and make a knight to take the siege. I don't know, TaToH, man. It's not looking good. Trying to take elephants. Trying to get relics. And trying to make a knight to kill the mangonels. Even if you kill one, that TC is still probably going to go down. TC will melt. Next TC will follow. 87 vills for Mihai. Crazy upgrades. Let's see his reaction time here. If he's too busy elsewhere, could get kind of rough. TaToH seems to be busy elsewhere. Yeah, Mihai sees it. Maybe he loses one mangonel. Like, maybe. But then he's still got 3 remaining. And Mihai saves it as well. That's sick. Beautiful stuff. So TaToH, who needs farms and everything for his vill count, he's sinking all of his wood into repairing this TC so he could make like 1 or 2 more knights. So expensive to repair a TC. Like we said, game 1, maybe a bit of nerves from Mihai. There were a tech or 2 missing. He ended up making it very close, despite being heavily outboomed. TaToH's knight not able to get the job done again. Mihai just moves on to the next target. And maybe a monastery would be good here for Mihai. I mean, this is... TaToH's just being annoying. And yeah, TaToH's like, okay, you know what? This is not getting any better. And he calls the GG. Again, score can really be influenced by Navy on the map. And then also the horse probably gave Mihai 100% scouting. So I think TaToH was thinking like maybe 1,000 of that score is actually just the scouting in the Navy and not necessarily a dominant vill count. But this got bad. He was going to lose everything. And well played, Mihai. But that was the #1 pick for Mihai. So the positive for TaToH is like, okay, well, I should lose to Huns. Look at that. What an absolute stomp. We'll give a lot of credit to Mihai. We're going to give partial credit to the Huns because we're Hun fans. But yeah, TaToH's like, okay, well, it's 1-1. I still have my first Civ pick. He doesn't have his anymore. And maybe he feels like, yeah, you know, Huns are OP. So nothing too worried there. Nothing to worry about too much there for TaToH. So, all All right, so game 3, they're 2 minutes into this one already, but not too much has happened. We've got Mihai playing as the Japanese. And then we've got TaToH playing as the Malians, which feels like a pretty even matchup to me. And sorry if you don't enjoy the fish mod, but it does actually make it easier to see the fish, which is why a lot of players use it when they play. Could potentially help here as well when watching. So, Japanese, cheap lumber camps, mining camp mills, and really strong fish. So lots of early savings with the wood, which really helps on the water. And then Malians, every building they have is 15% off on wood. So I think, I mean, I'm not a mathematician, all right? I'm not going to pretend to be amazing at math at all. But I think if you were to go through a normal feudal age build, so think about the amount of houses you need, let's say 2 lumber camps, a mining camp, a dock, and you add up the amount of wood saved from Japanese there, and you add up the amount of wood saved from Malians, I think it's pretty close. And so at least like when playing, it feels pretty even. Then you have to make arguments on which civ is better long-term. I think it's pretty even long-term. I think the Japanese with their cav archers can really, if they could focus heavily on cav archer Haub, that tends to be the answer against the Malians. But the Malians do have pretty solid range units as well, especially in the mid-game. And then they also have the superior night line, which could always be pretty important. So, and they got the better siege. Well, unless Japanese trebuchets have something to say about that. But usually having bomber cannons is pretty good. So dock on the back from TaToH initially. And will we see forward docks here? I mean, I said last week, I think that we're going to see a lot more defensive play on houseboat now. In the early rounds, we got to see a bunch of players bring the forward vills, try and sneak docks. I think people are just, they kind of play to expect that now. And they use the logic of, if you build 2 docks even on my side, I can get to 3 before you do that, and I can just completely outproduce you. But the downside, obviously, is if you make a great deal of ships to defend your water, then it's not like you can use that offensively in any way, so we'll end up seeing here. And oh my god, dude, that was so close. Mihai almost pulled a Viper there and got the trap in there. If he was a little bit faster, that would have been a dead scout for TaToH, which would have been a really big deal. That's a shame for Mihai. That was sick. Gate, Palisade would have been completely trapped. And now TaToH gets to scout everything else here, so. Zara says, T90, I think generally Malians' key unit versus Japanese is Gebetto, since they force Japanese to play into what Malians can deal with. I mean, I agree Gebetto can be really strong, but I mean, if Japanese are playing into Cav Archer, I don't think Gebetto really feels that natural. So I think on this map, you can't necessarily think about it that way. I think you have to think a lot about the early game and the transition. So based on what happens in Feudal Age, then you have to adapt to that a little bit. I do like Gebetto a lot with Malians, though, because it has a lot of potential early before the Cav Archers get massed. So, like, 3 Gebetto could wreck a wood line, for example. And the Cav Archer player maybe are still waiting for some upgrades, so. Gebetto's a unit that TaToH's in love with. There's another player that plays with Gebetto all the time. Well, there's actually 2 that come to mind. Anyone else have any player names that come to mind with Gebetto? There's one in particular for me who, anytime I see him play with Malians, is always making Gebetto at some stage. I'm curious if you guys think of the same name here. I don't think anyone's wrong here, by the way. Well, you're all slightly... If you didn't say Vinchester, you're all slightly wrong. Yeah, okay, let's go, chat. Let's go, Pium and Turs and Wolf and Calpit. Yeah, you got... That was my thought. And another thought was Viper. Viper does like his Gebetto, but I think Viper likes to play a little bit more crossbow TC style. Wow, so Mihai's going to come forward, try and drop a forward dock. TaToH says, I've got a transport ship for multiple reasons, pal. Go ahead. Try and save your Vil. And TaToH's also was going forward to go forward dock here. So this is a pretty big deal. The scout for TaToH goes into the transport. And now he hops back out. And now he goes back in. And now he goes back out. Oh my god, what a play from TaToH. That was absolutely disgusting there, guys. What you just witnessed was some of the best transport micro I've ever seen. That's ridiculous. TaToH saves the scout. The scout's going to be super important long term. And now there's no dock. The villa's dead. Beautiful play from TaToH. Please clip that. And then meanwhile, TaToH's over here. And Mihai... Okay, he did notice it. He did notice it. But TaToH's going to build 2 docks on his side. I mean, TaToH baited him like 2 or 3 additional times as well. It wasn't just the initial hopping in and hopping out. It was the extra bit of damage he was able to get as well. Now, hold on. Here comes another Vil. And so TaToH might think he's done. He might think he's already done the job. And TaToH, you have not done the job. Now, can he stop this? There's a galley there, and he's bringing Vils. Dude, this would be so crazy. He misclicked a couple times with the galley. This would be absolutely unreal if he denies his dock. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh, the dock goes up. That's huge for Mihai. Mihai really needed that. Because now he can threaten TaToH. Does lose the Vil. Does have the pressure here. This is about to get really crazy. But what a fun start so far. Man, TaToH is going to be really disappointed, though, because that galley, he clicked it on the dock foundation a couple times when I think he tried to click behind it. That was extremely close to being denied, and there's a big difference with that. Because now you always have to respect the threat from ships coming through. TaToH, I think, just lost his ship. He just seems to be making demos so far. And it looks like Mihai's approach is demos as well. So if I had to guess, I would say that neither player is going to win the opponent's water. Mihai's produced a lot already to defend. And TaToH has 2 docks versus 1. But they still have to transport the Vils around and get onto other food sources. Mihai is walling up this corner, which I think is pretty smart. And I mean, Mihai is Japanese, so if he can get the fish traps out soon... Like, he could tell that TaToH's not producing a lot right now. So he's going to add a couple more fishing ships. It could be really strong for him. Now, TaToH walling in the Vil so he could repair the docks, a pretty big deal. And he's going to try and bait Mihai's ships to group up here. But Mihai should know this. So, it's not easy to counter. You have to pay really close attention. But essentially, TaToH's going to hop out with a 1 fire. Actually, okay, so the basics of it is you hop out with 1 fire, you group up all the fires onto that fire, and then you pop a demo. But Mihai knows that, okay? So Mihai is going to be aware it's going to happen, and, well, he's going to get rocked anyways. So, and now TaToH deletes his dock, which I think has to have been a mistake. There was no way that was intentional. I think he tried to delete the palisade wall... And he deleted his dock instead. Yikes, bro. That is brutal. What in the world? I mean, the highlight before was sick from TaToH. Now that was just a disaster. And so now Mihai should be able to defend this quite nicely. I like the value he's gotten from his scout this game. Don't attack the dock on the shoreline, though, dude. Not against TaToH. Mihai. I get it. You want to take the dock out fast. It's understandable. Why are we standing there? Mihai, what are we doing? Why are we standing there? Mihai, what are we doing? TaToH? I really don't get anything we just saw. The last minute has been so confusing to me. TaToH didn't even see that, apparently. He just says, what did I miss? I mean, remember, this map is super hard to play. And TaToH says, what did I miss? And Mihai says some bada boom. But, like, Mihai, my friend, why did you have the 3 Vils on TaToH's dock? Like, fighting TaToH next to a dock is like fighting Batman in the darkness. It's just not smart. You gotta fight in the daylight. Okay, well, it's a bit of a shame for Mihai because I think otherwise his start was absolutely fantastic. And honestly, if he was a bit more fortunate, he probably would have taken out the dock before the demo came out. Mihai loses his scout. TaToH's going for this crazy wall here. But guys, TaToH hasn't clicked up the Castle Age yet. So again, imagine the position for Mihai if he didn't lose those Vils. And he's in Castle Age this much faster. He's going to drop the ranges and go for the CA, which feels very natural. He's dropping the second TC. He should have decent build production. Feels very strong. TaToH just now finishing his market. And so he'll buy a little bit of food, I think, to click up to Castle Age. He isn't actually completely walled here. There would need to be a wall there on the shoreline. Apart from that, though, he's got stone walls and houses. And Mihai's just going to boom, which... Like, guys, which civ do you prefer in late game here? I think it's kind of close in some people's minds, but I've seen it enough times. I do think that... Oh my god, does TaToH... TaToH doesn't even have a second building yet! TaToH still isn't clicked up. I think Japanese are a bit stronger. If they can play through Cav Archers. I mean, geez, Japanese infantry is even better than Malian infantry, right? Because the Malian infantry is high pierce armor, but the Japanese infantry can attack faster, so... Yeah, I do agree. Bombard Cannon has made a lot of game swing towards the Malians in the matchup, but good stuff for Mihai. Now, it's so funny on Houseboat, though, because a lot of it comes down to some important transitions. So the farming eco for TaToH is pretty nice. He'll make some scouts to get map control. He's going to get some fish on fish traps. None of that's too bad. He's actually... Like, his ships are actually helping him against Cav Archers. Mihai doesn't know what else to do with the CA right now. So, he does, you know, kind of waste his CA a little bit there, maybe. But there's a lot of other things to manage. Will we see fish traps? It looks like Mihai's starting to do that. And still on 3 TCs. Doesn't have a single farm, though. So TaToH's eco will actually fly. I would consider it sloppy that he didn't click up to Castle Age faster, but he can still do a decent amount as long as this is walled. There is definitely a gap here. TaToH will know this. I'm really surprised. Like, there's some details here which are pretty big. That's a hole every single time. What? Does he not want to run through because he's scared of a demo? Dude, he's so scared of a demo, he didn't run through. And TaToH just was like, oh crap, and comes over here to wall it, and now he is actually making a demo. TaToH's reputation, the demo he got earlier just saved him there. The Cav Archers heard about those villagers. They were friends with those villagers, and they said, no way. We heard what happened to those 3. We don't want to end up like the 3 musketeers. So that's pretty wild. Okay, so TC number 2, TC number 3. You have to remember, Mihai is thinking, I'm in a good spot. I've been in Castle Age way faster. I'm on 3 TCs making Cav Archers. So he probably just went for the safe route there so he doesn't make any mistakes. He thinks he can still win this game. TaToH with a little siege workshop down here. But the thing to remember with the fishing ships is they have to actually be on the traps at this stage. But Mihai is working his way in towards that. He's got 12 on the fish traps. He's doing a really nice job. The vills get produced out of the TCs, but all the wood goes to fishing ships and fish traps. TaToH Siege Workshop. It is relatively close to where there's going to be a decent amount of eco for Mihai. Mihai has no clue about any of that. 3K viewers. Yeah, lots of people here. Welcome in, everybody. If you just got here, say, what's up? No, you don't have to say that. You actually just don't need to say anything. But hello. Sorry, old commercial. I don't know if you guys ever saw that commercial. But occasionally I just greet people that way in 2024. Okay, hold on. That monk is just trying to... This works out, actually. That might look bad for Mihai, but the alternative is he gets surprised by this. So that monk wasn't able to bring the relic home, but now gets the information. That's probably where Mihai will focus his attention. The way TaToH built up his base, it's virtually impossible for Mihai to hit him in this corner. TaToH's red dots are just buffaloes, by the way, all around the other areas of the map. I think Mihai's fish traps are going to take him to the Imperial Age so freaking fast, though. Biggest thing for him is where's he going to get gold? He really needs a TC on a big gold spot. He's just got a couple of these 2-tile golds being mined. And outposting from Mihai knows what TaToH's up to here. TaToH's playing this arena style. Like Cav, little bit of pressure, just wants map control. Oh, that was so good from Mihai. That was unbelievable from him. So he waited till TaToH reacted to the conversion, and then he popped out with the mangonel instantly. It's unfortunate he didn't get 3 kills. Look how weak these are. They're on 7 HP. So unlucky. Stable comes up for Mihai, so no bloodlines yet. Didn't have Bodkin either. The fact that TaToH could potentially repair the siege here is a pretty big deal. And TaToH looking to expand a little bit, building another TC. This is what TaToH wants. Outpost from Mihai will spot that, but I don't know if the one Cav Archer can deny that when he's so focused over here. Mihai really has to react to this push, and meanwhile, TaToH, who is otherwise behind, he's gaining a lot of control, and this army is no joke. But Mihai needs some big siege shots, and he's going to get it there. And I like the stone walls. TaToH just clicked a rhino. Also, there is a hole here. Neither player seems to realize there's a hole there. I think Mihai would try and check for a hole if he sees the light cap move that way. But yeah, there's an opening. Mihai doesn't know. TaToH just assumes that there wouldn't be a hole. His units did just path that way. Okay, now Mihai should see the light cap going that way. But is it too late for him to react? Oh, he didn't see it. Oh, disaster for Mihai. Yikes, that's so annoying. Yikes. How many times have we seen this from TaToH over the years, man? He loves his Castle Age map control. And this is going to give him a lot of time to breathe. And he's even going to try and sneak through there? I don't know about that, TaToH. I think he might want to try and push the other position, but maybe he doesn't want to push up the hill. Can you imagine if Mihai brings his own mangonel right now? Mihai's still with the lead. And that might change. Oh, he's got to back away. So frustrating for Mihai right now that that hole was there. And, like, he can't focus on other aspects of the game because of TaToH's push. But TaToH... his light cav are getting sniped. Mihai's going to be fine here. This is really well played for Mihai. He will lose one mangonel, but he still has the other. Kills off most of the light cav. Mihai has to get up to imp right now. Guys, if Mihai just, even without army control, just went forward and dropped a castle right here, right next to TaToH's shoreline, and clicked up to imp, TaToH has big problems. TaToH would lose his water. TaToH would get a lot of his TCs trebbed potentially. But Mihai can't focus on anything else, and he's even dropping a castle here because of this push. Remember that. Like, this whole push distracted Mihai the entirety of Castle Age and forced the castle here. Now, I'm still okay with that, because now, if the castle's here, he can send his cav archers elsewhere. And he can still get another castle soon. It's not like he can't get a castle. TaToH's not on the way up to imp, but I have a feeling he'll be there soon. There go the cav archers. Mihai's just probably... He made so many cav archers, he's probably frustrated he's done no damage with them. TaToH's not the first time in this game. He's a little late to clicking up. He does click up now. So he's also on the way to imp. Still has this push going, which Mihai just wants to ignore. This is just super annoying. I think it's the right call to just... to not deal with this, as weird as it sounds. It's rough to have this be most of your stone miners, though. But there is stone like all over the map. Cav archers head this way. And this will be the main army of choice. And I think TaToH's going to try and go camel. Which, I mean, if Mihai can get to Halb cav archer, camel is just feels so underwhelming. So there's going to have to be a window here for TaToH where he hits before Halb comes out. He even needs to hide the camels. Here comes Mihai with that castle we were talking about. And just has to respect TaToH's navy a little bit. And this is a good castle. TaToH can get rid of this TC now, and he doesn't have many fish traps, so he can lose water and it's still fine. Okay, there are the camels. Mihai not expecting the camels! It was really nice value there. Mihai needs to run home with those and just wall in the vills. Yep, that's the way to do it. You can't stop to save your vills right now. Run to your castle. TaToH's push, still making some slow progress, but it is slow. Ballistics on the way for Mihai. Only 16 cav archers, and he may lose a couple more. TaToH's eco's still relatively untouched, and those camels got really nice value there. Look at what TaToH's doing elsewhere. Man, these camels did so much. Look at what's happening elsewhere as well. TaToH's building some buildings, some outposts, sneaky TCs. TaToH's going to turn this into a raiding game. TaToH's going to raid this area, I bet. But then he also has to respect this. He has to have massive amounts of respect for the water that could come in. I actually love the fact that Mihai's going War Galley. A lot of people go fast fires. It can... You could struggle a little bit with population efficiency because you might end up with like 20, 30 population in this pond. But 20, 30 population on this pond is worth it when TaToH's eco is surrounded by it. So... And then if you ever win the pond, you can delete the population later if it's a real issue. He also has the ranged upgrades. Those ranged upgrades also already apply to the ships. Looks like he's going to go fast fire as well. If someone says, why did TaToH delete his TC? I mean, dude, think about where you want to live in life. Would you want to live here? Come on, man. Like, transporting vills in this environment? It seems like a pretty reasonable decision. I mean, the greater question is, why didn't he delete it earlier? Oh, man. Mihai's got to be careful. That's a lot of fire ships from TaToH. He's going to add cannon galleons. TaToH's going to try and win his water back. And now, I think Mihai has seen all of these outposts and buildings, and he's extremely paranoid. So he's going to try and drop a castle here. It's great game sense that he's exposed here. But guess what? He's going to be hit right now. This is crazy what TaToH was doing, man. He was so far behind in eco, but his map control, his vision, utilizing the corners is actually paying off so much right now. Mihai will complete the castle. The castle will kill off a lot of this army, but that's a lot of annoyance right there from TaToH. He also made his way in here, which we missed. And then I guess he's going to lose TaToH's water. Okay, so I am really interested to see this. So guys, when you look at the top in-game and you look at your eco count, which you're doing constantly, it only shows villagers. So when you look at the villager count, it doesn't incorporate fishing ships. So Mihai right now, he's pop capped, but he doesn't realize he has 155 eco because he's instinctively seeing 120 eco, and it's not counting the 35. To see fishing ships, you would actually have to toggle the in-screen options at the bottom right, which takes off the score, and then that would show fishing ships, and it like breaks down all the separate workers. So what I'm seeing from Mihai right now, I've actually done so many times. Anytime I fish boom, which isn't that common, right? Which also is part of it, which is why you're not used to it. But yeah, anytime you fish boom, it's easy to overboom. He is still getting a lot of text too, and it's okay to overboom for now, in my opinion. It's okay to lose this up as well, to lose this spot as well. I think Mihai, he still is the better late game civilization. He's got a good defensive setup. He's got this corner locked down somewhat. We'll see. There's bombard cannons. And then he's got this corner locked down. I would, be really annoyed with all of TaToH's buildings here, but eventually maybe you get a ram there. Eventually you have to go get a push and actually kill TaToH. You don't want to give TaToH too much time to cook, and that's the problem. It's like TaToH's posing just enough of a threat where you need to think about it. Like, you might be able to justify sitting here destroying the siege workshop to get 2 bombard cannons. But if you do that, then TaToH has time to mass everything he has in the back here. Still no unique tech for TaToH, by the way. Still no Farimba, so it's not like he's got a crazy amount of attack. Where is TaToH supposed to get gold right now? TaToH's really limited with gold. I think this was important for him. He doesn't have that. mean, the fact that I can't really find an area... Okay, in the back, he's taking those 4 tiles. That's a pretty big deal. There's a lot of gold in the map. And TaToH has access to very little of it. Another castle from Mihai. Oh, it's so close. It'll go up. And like we said, I think it's worth it for him to lose Vils. I think he also deleted Vils. Because he was at 120 before, and he's down to 90. I don't think TaToH killed that many. It's kind of funny. He deletes Vils and then instinctively produces a few more. But he needs more army right now to win this game. And Mihai is making all the right decisions. TaToH, he had that gift of a demo earlier, and he had the nice little scout micro, but Castle Age has just been all Mihai, and this guy's supposed to be the underdog, but he's been rising and getting so good for the last... I mean, he's been around a long time, but the last 2 years in particular has been a crazy rise for the Romanian story. When you think Wandering Warriors Cup settings, too, you're like, this is perfect for TaToH. We have a lot of water. We have a lot of crazy maps. Lots of things that you can learn and lab out strats. And TaToH loses his bombard cannons. He's now getting Farimba. Maybe he does take a fight he could be happy with down here, but I don't know what TaToH can make right now. Treadmill crane for Mihai. Murder holes for Mihai. Like, Mihai's taking no chances here. He's getting lots of technologies. And he's starting to tread push TaToH. And TaToH doesn't have a bombard cannon around. TaToH's dead. Like, this feels really bad. In all honesty, he can't expand over here. He can't push this singular tread back right now. He's going to make skirms, which, I mean... Okay, skirms can be good against Halb Cav Archer. I don't hate that. But TaToH needs some cannons right now. Like, he is making a bombard cannon to potentially push these trebs down, but his castle's already going down. He's running out of stone. He does not have map control compared to Mihai. Mihai sees everything, is everywhere. And also, a lot of TaToH's army population is just on his water right now, which offers very little, and TaToH loses the castle. TaToH might not even be able to believe it himself. Just how good Mihai's played this. Like, the fish trap boom, it's meta for a reason. This is the difference I'm thinking about. I mean, there was the difference at Castle Age, of course, but what Mihai did with Castle Age was beautiful. And TaToH, if he is fully reliant on only skirms and light cav, he might be up against elite samurai soon. When you have the castles like this, and you have 2,000 stone, I think that's the play with the Japanese. Tech switch into samurai, and the samurai will melt the buildings so much faster. They'll melt the light cav and the skirms faster than everything that's out here. And Mihai keeping a close eye on the right side, just to make sure TaToH doesn't expand. And he's just still gutting everything here. Nothing about this feels like it's winnable for TaToH, but his population is 170. So I think there are reasons to play on. You don't want to resign at that population. But we know the reasons for it. A lot of that's the population he has on water. Mihai's doing the right things. Happy to lose some cav archers as long as his trebs are protected. Guys, we might see TaToH go down here in the round of 16. So I didn't cast it because it was super early in the day for me. But this past week, TaToH was down 2-1 against Dragonstar, who's like seed 33 or 29 or something, right? So, obviously still good, but not TaToH. TaToH had to come back and win that 3-2. Might be another TaToH comeback here today. But I'm loving the way Mihai's played the last 2 games. I mean, he's just completely dominated TaToH and Castle Age. He really wasn't close, was it? TaToH's little raid tried. But even then, TaToH did some creative things, and Mihai did a really good job there. Mihai got completely embarrassed with the demo earlier. Was able to laugh at it. Have some fun with it. Still end up coming back and beating someone as strong as TaToH here. And TaToH's down to 115 pop, and Mihai will win this game. TaToH almost stunned right now. And he calls the GG. What a performance from Mihai. His economy was so good. And what you see a lot of the time, guys, is you see people panic when a pro, or sorry, like, one of the best players takes a foothold. And that's what I was worried about for Mihai when I saw this. I thought, well, what's going to go wrong if he's distracted by this push? Honestly, it was even worse than it could have been. There was a hole here as well, which is just so much more annoying than the push was already. And he still kept those fist traps pumping. He had really good map control and awareness. TaToH's push didn't do too much down here. TaToH was probably going to plan a raid in the north. That didn't do anything either, and it was just Mihai, Mihai, Mihai. I do think Japanese are the superior civilization there, but a lot of what we said about that map comes down to Feudal Age and Castle Age, and TaToH's going to be kicking himself maybe for being later to Castle Age. Like, that's a big difference. That is Mihai being insanely fast. Remember, he lost a lot of vills. He lost the vills to the demos. So he lost more than TaToH, was still in Castle Age at 18 minutes. And TaToH was in Castle Age at 22. I think TaToH needed to be Castle Age at maybe like 2030 or something. It was crazy to me that he was late with the market to balance his eco. And then he finally got the market up, and then he didn't even have the blacksmith. So you got to remember, though, Houseboat does, the order in which you do things is very different. So you're just really not used to it. And so maybe it's a sign that TaToH's brain isn't exactly firing on all cylinders right now. Maybe this is Mihai's opportunity. Ooh, okay. So let's see. Mihai's looking for his TC spot. He is pretty far from a wood line. Like, I mean, he goes to the left or the right, he finds one. But he's like, where's my wood? Where's my wood? Where's my wood? And then he finds wood here. Okay. TC slightly delayed here for Mihai. And guys, Mihai's up 2-1 here. What a series this is. Mihai's playing as the Mayans. The map is Inundation. And then we have TaToH playing as the Berbers. So I've seen quite a few games where we see players go for Fast Castle Unique Unit on this map. So my initial reaction when I saw the map and I saw TaToH TCing the stone is I was getting pretty excited for the potential Game 5. But this TC position for Mihai, he's got the stone nearby. He's got the gold. There's so little gold on the outside. This is right next to his town center. He's also got the super safe berries. If he looks for it, he's got another boar. Like, and of course, they do have the horse to scout other areas of the map. This is a really good map for Mihai as well. What is going to happen here? There's lots of turkeys and geese around the map to collect. And then eventually, the players are going to all in for control in the middle. I've really enjoyed this map so far. This map has produced some really good games. And I've loved the variety. The players do start somewhat towards the middle, so you could TC the middle and walk to the outside for wood. Most people at this stage, though, are TCing the outside. That's kind of how the map was designed. We wanted there to be the potential to take the middle, but we didn't want that to be the only way to do it. TaToH kind of had an issue here with his boar. And that's fine. And now Mihai's actually found him. So Mihai knows exactly where TaToH is. Now, that's actually a pretty good bit of scouting. You know that TaToH's TC is there. You also know the stone is there. So I think the easy assumption is TaToH goes Fast Castle Camel Archers. So how is Fast Castle Plumed Archers versus Fast Castle Camel Archers? Could, in theory, maybe try and go Fast Archers, try and deny that stone. But typically, like, the smartest players are walling these choke points. They wall in towards the TC. TaToH could take this gold and the berries with some walls, too. You can also get a bunch of boars. I really like the Berbers because you have the faster vills here. Oh, and now TaToH loses his horse. And all TaToH knows is the TC location and the berries. And I guess this stone. But if TaToH knows the map, he should know there's a lot of stone around, and he shouldn't assume this is the only stone nearby for Mihai. That's really good for Mihai. The fact that TaToH can't scout things now. I think the good thing for TaToH is, like, his initial game plan is probably already set. And it might be Fast Castle unique units from both here. But, like, man, can you imagine if you could justify the castle in the middle? That's so risky if you don't have the scout. Maybe Mihai can do that. Because he could see what TaToH's doing. And if he sees TaToH's building the castle defensively, he could, like, walk out here maybe? Build the castle between the golds? That delays your production of units, though. So I think a defensive castle, you build a bunch of military, and then eventually build the next castle in the middle, or TCs in the middle could be good. So, we'll see. Anyways, guys, thanks for being here. I said this earlier in the day, but we have a giveaway right now. Basically, Dave and I are the ones hosting this, and if you're not already following, or are already following, good incentives to do all that, or just a reward if you did. Check out below the stream. We've got a giveaway of a tablet we're doing at the end of this tournament. So check it out. You don't have to do it, of course. There's different ways to enter, though. So for those that are subbed, we've had a lot of subs today. Like, thank you, Cranky, Sergeant Pepper, Jero. You get 10 extra entries into the giveaway. Why not, right? Maybe you get lucky. Maybe you win. Thank you. Also, to anyone who, celebrated some Thanksgiving yesterday, happy Thanksgiving, belated Thanksgiving. I did celebrate Thanksgiving actually on Sunday with some friends. And then yesterday actually was at a friend's house. Just watching some Christmas movies and hanging out. But I'm very thankful for you guys. So, I know most of you guys might not celebrate. That's all good, but I can still be thankful, right? Big walls from TaToH. But thankfully for him, this wood line actually goes to the edge of the map. So yeah, he's got 2 more boars in here, but does he know about that? He does know about this one. Doesn't know about this one. He probably won't look because he's got plenty of boars to work with here. Elite Goose says, here's to another month of 2 fat kids who can't hit the ball, and also the pros. Elite Goose, that's an older reference, man. I think some of the real OGs will remember that. Thanks for the 21 months. Classic doubt quote right there. Master Fishy, thanks again. He says, happy Thanksgiving and Christmas season. Yeah, I know. I'm freaking out, man. Christmas is so close. So, Mihai's on gold already, which is a bit interesting. Is he going to build a mining camp on that gold, or is he just getting to, like, 110 gold so he can sell 100 stone? I think that's his plan. So there's a build you can go for. The first time you sell 100 stone, you get 91 gold. So if you get to 109 gold, you can sell the 100 stone and get the 200 gold to click Castle Age. Oh my god, TaToH just lost a Vil! TaToH just lost a Vil! He was trying to quick wall and bringing this boar from a really long distance away. TaToH 2-1 down, loses a Vil. He's got no loot. As I said earlier in the day, it's like we just kind of get used to players bringing in the boars long distance like it's no problem. You're already down a villager when compared to the Mayans as well. So here is round number 2. It looks like he made it pretty far. But man, this boar is not cooperating with TaToH. Mihai has paid off this boar. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. If I'm TaToH, I'm not even annoyed about the villager dying. I'm annoyed this boar won't follow the second time. So frustrating. Come on. Follow. Here we go. Someone's saying he deleted his Vil on accident. Did he? Oh, wait. The boar doesn't have a kill. TaToH deleted his Vil instead of a palisade wall. No way. Yeah, because there's no death here. The death is from the horse. We'll rewatch that. We'll rewatch that here in a second. TaToH also accidentally deleted his dock in the previous game as well. What's going on? Yeah, House Trick would save you from this. But TaToH's going to bring the boar in. I think we have to rewatch that. TaToH does have a barracks too, so it might not be unique unit. And Mihai is not on stone. He's gone up super quick here. And he's going to go Blacksmith Market. This almost feels like a boom build for Mihai. What Mihai could do is still send a bunch of Vils to stone right now, so it's still doable. But it's either what I just said, or he is going to drop TCs and boom. Let's go back and see what happened there with TaToH. Obviously, we should know he deleted the Vil now. So is this the first time? Dude. So I'm going to tell you what happened there. So, I mean, I'm guessing he just had the Vil selected and tried to click the Palisade and missed it. Or maybe he held shift and had his villager and his Palisade in the same control group. It's crazy because the Vil died at the same time as the Palisade, so he somehow selected the Vil and the Palisade at the same time? But anyways, TaToH just killed his own Vil. What I've seen before is, like, if you have the Vil selected, and then you go to click the Palisade, but you miss it, and you just click the grass, your Vil will still be selected. And then when you delete, it deletes the Vil. But there, the fact that the Palisade and the Vil went down at the same time, maybe looks like he accidentally selected both in the same group. Mihai doesn't know that. Mihai has no clue that just happened. And Mihai is going to go for the full walls. I like how he delayed the walls because he knew he could, because he has the horse. It feels like TCs for Mihai. I don't think he's going to TC the middle, but he could. Like, you could send Vils to the middle right now and take that gold. It's crazy. TaToH's just now hitting feudal. TaToH's so late up. Mihai isn't going for a build that incorporates more villagers, though. Like, a straight boom build, you can normally be up a bit faster. You don't need eco upgrades. Or, sorry, you do need eco upgrades. You don't need, like, military upgrades or units or the buildings. And TaToH's got this gold available if he needs it. That's going to be fine for a while. He's got a relic back here. He's got even more stone. So, like, he's set as far as that's concerned. Mihai knows about both of these gold tiles. And, yeah, we're going to see second TC, third TC, and he's just going to boom with no map control. Could be tricky. 2 tiles of gold. It feels like a lot, I guess, compared to a standard start, but yikes. M. Corker in chat says, I'm watching with my toddler, and he's requesting that you follow the horse, please and thanks. Okay, here you go. M. Corker's been subbed for almost 3 years. This is what you get when you've been around that long. There's the horsies, kid. There you go. Make sure you learn your hotkeys, okay? Don't go clicking things. Learn your hotkeys. All right? How old are you? 4? By 8 years old, we expect a 15-minute castle age in this house. You hear? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Don't stop watching me, please. Horse is being attacked. Oh, no! This is traumatizing. This is traumatizing. Well, I think the horse is actually ever so slightly faster. No, they're the same speed. Okay. Well, TaToH's added scouts for map control. And TaToH's about to be in Castle Age as well. So this feels like second TC on the outside for TaToH, and then third TC in the middle. But Mihai's economy is really smooth right now. Just he might not have the gold. Oh god, don't you love that? I was wrong, by the way. TaToH's going to go TC, TC. And then eventually TC the gold in the middle. And he's just going scouts for map control. Okay, so I'm trying to think about the long term. And what Mihai should go for here. Because it's normally eagles or it's plumes. Now, you could make an argument for pikemen. Because there's scouts out. But, I mean, it's just scouts. So I think that would be way too extreme. I think Halb Plumed Archer is your best comp here before you have the gold. And then maybe if you get a bunch of gold, you can switch Eagles. But trying to go Eagles before what I just mentioned is too risky. So he's on stone now. He's going to think about a castle to start and get some map control with plumes. And I like his position. 10 villager lead for Mihai, guys. Just straight booming. They both have gone for a bit of a boom build, but TaToH didn't have the Vil. He got husbandry to kill a horse, by the way. He just got husbandry to kill the horse. Let that sink in. I was wondering why he could catch up to that thing. I'm not sure if that investment's worth it. But, you know, if the horse is dead, you can't see the siege push. Also, you know what you need before you need a siege workshop? A blacksmith. So TaToH's building the blacksmith there. The timing and the positioning of this push, very important. Because Mihai is going to start to add a couple spears for map control. he might build up enough confidence to maybe think, oh, drop a castle here. Protect the rest of my stone. It's close to the middle. Perfect. Or maybe he's building a castle right at the right at the front. And TaToH shows up at the right time with a mangonel. Timings from TaToH have not been great. Where's the guy at the start of the day who was really critical of TaToH? And I was like, honestly, I think you're overselling it. I think TaToH's a great player, and he's looked sharp, blah, 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 blah. I don't know if he somehow, affected the results here. Cast a spell on TaToH, but TaToH's definitely not been sharp. But here's the other thing. Like, he hasn't been super duper sharp, but Mihai has been. Right? Like, let's stop thinking about it from the perspective of, oh, TaToH, this or that. No, Mihai's just been pretty much as optimal as can be. Mr. Corker says, my son is 2 and he just lost his mind in the best way for the horses. So thank you for that. Core memory made for both of us. Oh, that's great. That's great stuff. Did he see the horse die? Did he see what happened? Is this core memory a positive one? I don't know. Where's the castle going? Mihai's going to the middle. Mihai's going to the middle. Now, he did see the villager building outpost. He does see the siege. TaToH does not know that Mihai is getting access to that gold. Now, I actually hate this castle. Because he built it because he's expecting a push from TaToH in the middle. But if he knew that TaToH wasn't pushing the middle, he could have built it, like, in the middle of all 3 gold piles. So it's actually not a very good castle, but he just didn't... He's expecting TaToH to be in the middle, not in the side. So that's the unfortunate thing about it. It's still a castle towards the middle. But now he doesn't have a defensive castle. And TaToH is going to force a lot of reactions here. And guys, I've seen TaToH in this spot a million times. Like, TaToH can now TC the middle because Mihai's not going to look at the middle. Mihai's going to look at his base. Very interesting game here. I like what Mihai's done to damage control this, though, because he knew if the knights ran in, he'd kill the siege. So TaToH doesn't want anything to do with that. TaToH's just going to push here now. But pretty soon, both are going to have gold in the middle. Neither player is going to really have anything to do about that. There is a plume now for Mihai and a bunch of outposts to check. That TC will go up for TaToH, though. And still, Mihai could have some potential problems against the siege push. But TaToH is pushing from an awkward angle now because his siege needs to travel a long distance. Mihai's going to be like, you're kidding me. This is sick from TaToH. I'm going to see maybe the houses go down here for Mihai, and he will have pikemen waiting in there. So maybe he'll end up being okay. 4 TCs. He's got a bit of a groove going now, TaToH. He's also hitting Mihai from the left-hand side. You can tell that the momentum is here for TaToH now, but his mangonel goes down there, and Mihai will repair, and Mihai will lose the mangonel, and the knights will run through. Still think this is actually okay for TaToH because he's still getting damage on this side. Mihai can't keep up. Ooh, also, someone in chat says TaToH's playing in an event in Barcelona with the Spanish community. I did see that Moray, who's a Spanish player, had like a bit of a LAN party stream going. So is TaToH not at home right now? Does anyone else confirm that? That might actually explain a little bit of maybe a little bit of the rustiness from TaToH if he is somewhere for, Spanish community. I don't know if that's actually the case. But that makes a lot of sense. Well, he's got a Vil lead now. And again, he just found a groove here. The siege on the left killed 11 villagers. But Mihai really wants to build a castle in the middle. Like, Mihai wants to stop TaToH from taking this gold, but TaToH's already defending his gold with his own castle. Look at TaToH. He also had outposts over here. I think he lost a Vil there, but still, look at all the vision. Look at all the map control. Look at all the momentum. He's getting upgrades for his knights. I think he'll continue to produce knights. I do wonder what army he makes long-term now, though. Because Plume Halb is really good. Like, Plumes are good enough against Camel Archers. You'd almost need to go Knight Camel Archer, but it's so much more expensive. Ooh, Mihai, be careful. Be very careful here. Yeah, this is something that is actually a big deal. It's not like Mihai can just ignore this. If he starts to lose his main base, he could be in a rough spot. Look at all the vision TaToH has from the outpost right now. Mihai, oh man, he's going to lose his mangonel, but now he has to micro against the siege. TaToH's knights have to back away. Attack ground from TaToH maybe on the pikes. TaToH's going to kill off the pikes. He'll keep most of his siege alive. That's a good fight for TaToH. The knight number goes down, but he still is the siege, and he still is the middle. I wonder if Mihai's gold is going to be a problem. I guess probably not, because he can get another castle down. But he is really resisting the urge to build a defensive castle, I bet, to stop the siege push from moving forward. It feels so bad to have to waste a castle defensively on this map. So it's smart from him to hold on to that, just in case. Scorpion goes down for TaToH. Still, it's all about the mangonels, I feel. Mihai with the split micro. Good micro. The knights die from TaToH. Kind of ran right into a bunch of pike shots, though. His siege hits are really good. TaToH will lose some of his siege, though. This would maybe be the time for Mihai to think about the castle. Looks like he's going to kill off the siege. Mihai's just said he's created a lot of units, but they're never bunched up together because he's distracted, and he's trying to raid here as another example, which is good. And he will drop a castle here. Wow. Yeah, Mihai's just like, you know what? I can't place another castle in the middle. I just need to put a stop to this push. And there is a mangonel on the way out of the siege workshop. It's at 60%, guys. This could be a problem. The castle's only at 50%. Nah, I think Mihai's okay. Mihai's castle will go up. He may lose a villager or two. He's lost a lot more than he would have wanted in this game. But the castle goes up. He keeps the knights out. This is about to be insane, guys. Mihai is up to imp. He does also have this stone now. So he can mine that stone. I think he also has stone here, which he's going to town center. So he will get more castles. But he has like no pikemen. So he really doesn't have a very big army beyond plumes right now. And TaToH built the outpost here. TaToH sees the TC. And with no hesitation, TaToH's on the way, and Mihai will take massive losses. This is huge. And TaToH still has the siege. He still has 2 minutes till Mihai's an imp. The TC's completely denied at 93%. And TaToH just continues to fly, guys. Like, his eco is flying behind this. He's got all the gold in the middle. He's got more knights on the way. He's got more siege rolling over. Like, he's just not stopping. And Mihai is going to try his best here with the plumes to split. TaToH might expect the split. And now Mihai's got to bring, like, Vils from the middle to go finish the TC. That's such a brutal position. When TaToH gains momentum, you can't stop him. But it was, you know, it's the same with a lot of players. It was the same with Mihai in the previous game. Previous 2 games. He's trying his best to micro his plumes. He doesn't want to lose them. And now TaToH goes imp as well. Wow. Still, like, really close game. Because Mihai can get a second castle in the middle. He can eventually get help. The problem is he can't afford plume upgrades and help. Like, on one hand, Halb is better because... Ooh, big shots. Oh, big shots from TaToH. Sorry, sheep. On one hand, Halb is better because he's up against mainly knights. But the Halbs are slow, and TaToH's never going to run into Halbs. So it feels more natural to get the plume upgrades because at least the plumes can get damage. Because they're speedy. TaToH, he's got no vision on that castle. That's a good castle from Mihai. Crazy macro from Mihai, by the way. 40 on food. The things we forget, right? We only look at the micro. TaToH's eco's looking pretty tasty as well. He's going to go full stable units. What else can you do with the Berbers? I don't think Genitor's going to cut it. It's really expensive. Elite Skirm, maybe? Couple ranges from TaToH. Elite Skirm Cavalier feels like it could be good. Landing some shots again. Remember, Mihai has to look, get those upgrades. Probably place the gate just to make sure his Treb's protected. All these things. That's really smart as well, the wall in your Trebs. But if you go for Trebs, you can't go for Plumes from your 2 castles. I think Halb needs to be the play now. There is an extreme lack of gold miners in the middle for Mihai compared to TaToH. TaToH is living the gold dream right now. No relics. But do relics matter a ton on this map? I'm not entirely sure. Also, the cav is cheap for TaToH. TaToH's got 12 more cav in queue. He's going to be up to 40 here. But TaToH might not have a castle. This game is insane. This is absolutely insane. Like, you can tell Mihai's trying to get to Halb right now. It's 300 food, 600 gold. He needs that. Without Halb, he's completely dead. He's going to get it in a second. Okay, so there's like a tiny window. Look at TaToH's micro there. He's like, bring it on, pal. There is a tiny window where TaToH will have Cavalier and Halb won't be in. Huh! Oh, man, Mihai. Scaring me with the micro. But he does take 2 mangonels. Okay, this is that window. And now Mihai should just back away. And then right when Halb's about to hit, he engages. Really nice engagement from Mihai. That's exactly what he needed. But I think TaToH, he's using the mangonels and just hoping, like, that he could win the fight anyways. He's got more Cavalier and Trebs coming this way. So he's going to dive or attempt to kill the Trebs. Mihai's going to get the stone gates down. So both sides of the Trebs are protected. TaToH's entire army gets wiped. TaToH's got the Vil lead, guys, but he might lose his position in the middle. He's going to raid over here. And he's definitely thinking skirm switch right now. He's dropping the ranges, but he's still so many upgrades away from that being reality. He has to buy stone. But interestingly enough, TaToH has his own Trebs, and Mihai can't actually kill the Trebs because he doesn't have Cav. So Mihai's kind of chasing. Mihai's got this crazy army, but Mihai's castle in the middle might fall here. He's also repairing. If TaToH had elite skirm right now, I think he's in the winning position, but it still takes so much time, and there's a lot of plumes and halbs out there for Mihai. Will he try to take out the Trebs? I think he's thinking about it. TaToH's still buying stone. TaToH's Trebs take out the castle. Now, TaToH will maybe try and use his Trebs against Mihai's Trebs. Mihai only has 2. Look at all these upgrades flying in from TaToH. It feels like he's got 3 blacksmiths right now. TaToH's castle is so critical. Can't really get easy raids in on the left on Mihai or the right. Mihai's locked that down. This is all about the middle now. And TaToH's lined up his Trebs just underneath this castle. And TaToH, I mean, the other Trebs are stuck there, I think. But I think he's holding this, and he's giving himself time for skirm. And you can't go Eagles right now if you're Mihai. He doesn't have the economy or the time to make that tech switch. Crazy boom from TaToH, by the way. 150 Vils. 30 of them are on gold in the middle. Is Elite Plume in at least? Yeah, maybe if you snag Elite Plume, you can fight off the skirms. I don't know, man. It feels like TaToH is somehow held on here. And we're about to have a massive battle, but I'm just thinking of the comps. And TaToH's skirms are only getting stronger. He's bringing even more Vils to the middle now. If anything, Mihai's running further from the middle as he has to build a backup castle because he's terrified. Quick walls from Mihai. Trebs all over TaToH's castle. Mihai doesn't know where to be. The Cavalier are going to kill the Vils. And halbs do not kill Trebs very quickly. They can help, but you lose a lot of halbs that way. TaToH will try and take Mihai's Treb. Mihai loses 1. He's still got 2, and now TaToH only has 2. Maybe Bombard Cannons could be TaToH's next play. You can do that with Berbers, but this is an intense game, dude. This is like, you don't have time for something like that. I don't think TaToH should necessarily run in here. TaToH's been trapped! TaToH has been trapped! Oh no! What is he doing? He thought he could raid, and Mihai said, not today, bro. Okay, so the Cav will go down there. But TaToH could, he honestly could use the pop space in the middle. Mihai's halbs are now in his base. They're not in the middle. Mihai's castle is going to fall. Once that castle falls, it's skirms and cavalier all over the place. On the vills, on the halbs. Mihai has primarily halbs. Even if Plume was like elite plumed archer with all these upgrades, right? You'd still be up against skirms that have full upgrades. TaToH will snipe the final Treb from Mihai. And he's got full gold control now, guys. This should be TaToH's game. What a crazy game. Like, TaToH was definitely in the worst position. Like, in the early stages of this game, it was not great compared to Mihai. But the raids on the sides, and then this big army play in the middle has just been so sick to see. He really found his groove. Also, some vills around the right side. TaToH might be looking for stone there. He will find it if that's what he's looking for. There are a couple halbs here from Mihai. That'll be killed off. Unfortunately for Mihai, you need... The unit that you would need here would be Eagle Warrior. He did click Eagle Warrior. He needs Elite Eagle, though. And for that, you need gold. And for that, you need time. And he's about to be off of gold. He's about to be out of time. And TaToH has endless supply of gold. Full map control towards the middle. Only thing he's missing is taking out this final castle. And once he takes care of that, if he takes care of that, then Mihai's officially off of gold. He is still on gold, Mihai. He is going to take the Treb. He might even take the second Treb. He's being stubborn here. TaToH maybe needed a few more trebuchets than that. TaToH is going to take that stone, running around with the Cavalier. Loses his Treb in the middle. We'll bank up some more Trebs. This is conveniently taking the halbs away from his vills on the stone. TaToH's one of my favorite players. When he takes army control against someone, he just does such a good job of following up and finding the next setup play. And that's what he's done now. Like, he used the side control to take the middle control. He used the middle control to take the side control. It's just like different areas of the map all the time. These Cavalier are simply just setting up the middle right now. But he is trickle trebbing, which should be avoided a little bit. Hard to do that in an intense game. But still. TaToH maybe even thinking that Mihai will run out of wood soon. That honestly might happen. Like, anywhere Mihai's going to take wood, TaToH's going to see pretty soon with buildings on the sides. I think TaToH knows he has this game. The way he's playing this, the amount of Cavalier he's tossing in the middle, he's just like, I've got this. He's running out of wood. I've got the momentum in the middle. TaToH knows that there's no way Elite Eagle's going to come in either. And the Cavalier are in the back. More losses for Mihai this game. Mihai's lost over 100 villagers this game. Crazy. Yup. And TaToH drops a castle right next to his Trebs this time. Even brings in the cannons. This is the final nail in the coffin, folks. We're headed to a game 5. TaToH will lose some of those vills. But I think this is all extra in his mind. Being able to take these stones on the side, that's not even needed. What's really needed here, oof, nice attack rounds, is the middle area. Technically, Mayans could go skirm and they could go halb, and they could last for a while in this matchup without gold. But, again, wood, villager count, momentum, like, everything is just against poor Mihai right now. What a win from TaToH. That's sick. It does make sense. Like, TaToH accidentally deleting his dock in the previous game and his villager in this game, and being a little slow at the start does make sense if he is not at home right now, right? If you've ever switched setups, you've ever traveled anywhere, brought your stuff, it's still never quite the same. Maybe monitors different size, who knows? But when TaToH got cooking here, guys, he just flew. That was so good. And it felt like Mihai's defense was perfect, but eventually TaToH broke him when the Mangonels started to do some real damage here. That was when Mihai had a 15-20 villager lead he was holding. And as he was defending from one attack in the middle, he lost the 12 to 15 vills here. And then it was super close, like really, really, really close in the middle still. I wonder if, like, he could have somehow walled up everything. So he would have never had to deal with any of the Cavalier, and he just had all of his army there to protect the Trebs. I don't know. The difference maker really was that Mihai couldn't kill Trebs because he didn't have Cav. He didn't have a unit that could snipe the Trebs, and TaToH knew that. And TaToH held on. To anyone that says Mihai needed to get more Trebs, well, to get more Trebs, you don't get the plumes. So you kind of need the plumes out there. To anyone who says, like, Mihai needs more Vils on gold, well, it was tough for him to justify that because TaToH was all over his base all the time. Like, denial of this TC was 15 Vils. He wasn't going to send villagers out to the middle. It was really tough for Mihai because of how good TaToH played. So, here we go. I mean, Game 5 coming up. TaToH the big favorite, but Mihai's had a great series as well. And there's the res collected, and it does come back to TaToH's #1 civilization pick. The civ that he picked at the start for his #1 map, Nomad. It's most likely going to be Bengalis. Like, there's no way he comes out with Khmer here. It's got to be Bengalis. And then I think it's probably Bohemians for Mihai. Okay, so we're here Game 5. And we're catching up to live time. They take no time in between games, unlike casters. And look at these. Look at the map and look at the TC position. So we've got a center pond, which may or may not be useful. Okay. And then you've got the water on the outside, but this is an extra little area of water. Now, I believe, I'm not 100% certain, but I think this crossing, I know land units can cross it. I think ships can too. Obviously, you can't cross into this pond, though. So if you would consider this a pond, this is passable into it. The kind of two ponds. TaToH, this is his #1 pick. Bengalis in the north. He's docked pretty close by, like we said. Honestly, not a great starting dock spot. And dude, TaToH will have seen that board disappear. Mihai didn't actually see the dock, though, which is pretty wild. Mihai already, at this stage of the game, has been scouting with his sheep that you start with the Dockville. And so he followed this whole shoreline. He's found the landlock, and he's going to start with this shoreline. So odds are he will eventually find TaToH's dock is there. And then TaToH, this sheep, see, there's always one Ville that starts closer to water on this map, and you always start with the sheep. But TaToH's kind of really close to water everywhere. So, I don't know which one was the sheep Ville, but his sheeps right now are just about to scout the shoreline as well. Now, I feel like this area, this choke point is key. And I actually think the water is really key in general in the later stages of the game. Like, probably not in Castle Age, but in Imperial Age, I could see both considering going for lots of Navy here. Because if you control with Navy, it kind of stops land units from having any presence. The TaToH's map, in terms of what he wants, probably pretty good. I don't think he's going to want stone early. If he does want stone early, that's pretty far away from him. Stone he hasn't even found yet. But he does have the gold. He does have a boar up north that he's found. He does have some deer. He does have the wood. Mihai TC'd up on a hill, which is kind of weird. But it's a pretty good hill to have. You've got the berries around, the deer around, stone and gold. Wood is a little awkward, but that you can find everywhere. There is another boar down here and another stone. So which civ is better here, guys? I mean, I really wanted to avoid saying the words. I do think it depends. I think that Bengalis are the better economic civilization here. I think you have to pressure the Bengalis a little bit, or go for a hard extreme the other way, and just go for the crazy eco that the Bohemians can go for, meaning early fervor for the Ville speed and like getting the relic super early, which could be really nice with the relic there. Economically, the Bengalis are better. I think they're more awkward to play because of the lack of tech tree. But honestly, Bohemians kind of lack a good tech tree too. Neither civ is really good cav. I guess Bengalis are even better there. Reminder, Mihai did find this dock, so he knows TaToH's dock is there. And TaToH found this dock from Mihai, so he knows Mihai is up there. And he's even building a dock next to that. Someone in chat says T90 is in general wrong about trickle trebbing. You are not getting any value out of your trebs if you sit idle. Yeah, but you're not getting... You can eventually get value from trebs if they sit idle for a moment. I can tell you where you can't get value from your trebs is when they're dead. The trickle trebbing thing is very situational, you know. Someone asked, like, why are people doing it all the time? It's because when you make a treb and you see a castle position to snipe, you want to start doing damage as quickly as possible, you know. So it's more complicated than sometimes I make it seem. Ace Leviathan, are you on a walk right now with your phone in your pocket? Because you are typing random characters in my chat. I've had this happen before. I believe either your cat is on the keyboard or you are trying to use this as a podcast and you are accidentally butt dialing all of chat. Sorry to disturb your little walk, my friend. He says, so sorry, it was in my pocket. Yep, called it. All good. We knew. Yeah. It's all right, all good. Enjoy your walk. Game 5, Mihai seemingly going fast castle here, and I think so is TaToH. It's kind of wild to me. Here's TaToH's Vilf just walking around Mihai's base, by the way. Does have Loom, Mihai does not. But TaToH's Vil is weak. Like, TaToH is adding more fit. Huh! TaToH wants to wall in that Vil, that troll. But TaToH is adding more fish out here, which is weird. Like, you'd think if you're going to sneak more fish, you'd sneak it into the middle pond and not next to your opponent's dock. Mihai's going to be like, why is he double docked in Dark Age? Okay, TaToH's still trying to quick wall. TaToH will never lose this Vil. He will never lose it. It's TaToH. Okay. Yep. There we go. TaToH's like, nope, you're not going to get close to me. Not going to happen. I'm going home. And Mihai has to decide on if he wants to chase. And Mihai, you don't want to chase that villager. You're just going to run into a TC eventually. Or he's going to bring another Vil and wall you in. Just run back. Mihai's fast castling. He thought he was going to have safe fish up here. He also docked down here to sneak fish. What in the world? This has been sick. And TaToH's villager's still escaping. This has been a really unique game, guys. Uh-oh. Nope. Like, I've seen it too many times. I once watched as TaToH walled in 4 enemy Vils with the same villager. So one Vil would get walled in, and then Vivi sent another Vil back to go save the Vil. And it was just like this continuous cycle. So funny. TaToH loves to do that. Probably should delete the palisade walls. So TaToH, I mean, they're both kind of going for fast castle builds, but look at the difference here. TaToH has sent a lot more onto gold, so he can make fire galleys initially, I believe, and still go up at a reasonable time. And he got housed. TaToH. Yikes, bro. Are the people too loud of the Spanish land? Guys, shut up. TaToH's in a game 5. He's apparently at like a community thing right now. I don't know what headphones he's using. Didn't hear the house for a second. So that delayed a villager and anything he wanted to produce. That's pretty sloppy mistake. Considering you should know the extra villagers come out, but has been a little bit rough around the edges from TaToH today. He is going to make a random stable over here. This is extremely random. And TaToH is going to stone up the middle here. Wow. Okay, so if TaToH stone gates this, walls this, and then goes for scouts over here, Mihai might kind of be trapped. This should be passable, to my knowledge, by ships and by land. This is now walled. And Mihai getting attacked with this fish in the north by a fire galley from TaToH, but he is, unbeknownst to TaToH, making fire galleys down here. So he may be able to kill TaToH's fishing ships pretty quickly as well. RS Gold Time says TaToH wants knights, not scouts. Well, he can't make knights because he's been galleys. So I think it's scouts. But Knights would be sick. If you can't make them, a couple scouts like have probably the better option. And now Mihai's going to see this. But Mihai doesn't necessarily know where this has come from. And I don't know if he's noticed this either, because he's got stuff on water to look at. He's definitely looking on water right now. That's going to be the first kill of the game. Fishing ship's getting chased in the north. Fishing ship's getting chased down here. Mihai still has not moved out with his fires yet. I think he wants to surprise TaToH. Like, he doesn't want TaToH to have any chance to stabilize. Of course, this is landlocked, so these fish will eventually go down. Or they'll just do very little. TaToH's going to get hit down here. This is where a lot of TaToH's fishing eco is. And again, now he's reacting to 3. Mihai did have the quick wall and a house villager here, though, too. So there's a lot of stuff happening. TaToH's fish need to flee towards the docks on the other side of the map. That's a lot of fires from Mihai. But there's the scouts from TaToH. That's a weak Vil from Mihai. Like have upgrades on the way for TaToH. TaToH is pouncing on water and on land. He gets a snipe. He's stopping the quick walls. This is so good for TaToH. This is so well played to block the foundations multiple times. Well, I mean, the units aren't all attacking here. I guess you could consider it a positive if you wall these in. Well, actually, because of the pathing issues... Well, okay, the villagers still died. TaToH's got to be more than fine with that. The only thing TaToH can't accept now is losing all his fish as well. If Mihai kills all the fish, it's a completely even game, and Mihai might have a chance of doing that. But in Game 5, great start for TaToH. The light cab pay off. And the light cab also prevent any possibilities of monks for Mihai. And, like, Mihai's in such a weird position. He's got light cab down here. He's got ships to look at up here. He's got ships to look at here as TaToH demos him. And TaToH demos there as well to save his fish. He, like, just barely hung on there on water, guys. He was one misstep away from losing all 8 his fish. And if he lost his 8 fish, the game would be even. Mihai would actually have a lead. Mihai will probably make a monk to try and convert these like have. I expect these eventually to just get deleted. TaToH's Vil still over here, but I think he's going to go for more for the economic choices. Now, again, I think this is passable by land units. We need to remember that. Fire ship down here from TaToH aiming to kill fish. We'll get the fish sniped. Just 2. Because TaToH stonewalled that one area, he doesn't have the stone for another TC. So he can't go for 3 TCs. And his fish are being pressured, but it's really close. And yet again, feels like TaToH will just get as much value from his fish as possible. Look at TaToH sending individual fires to snipe fish. He's happy to lose the fire as long as he snipes the fish. And look at the difference. Mihai's doing that now, but he hasn't been able to focus on that. And now Mihai comes over here with the monk. What an intense game. You need some vision right now if you're Mihai. You need, like, some army. It's an issue with how he's opened, I think. He is taking a page out of TaToH's book, though, and trying to snipe the fish. Which, by the way, TaToH misclicked. TaToH has nothing on food if he doesn't fix those fishing ships. This is not, like, a game which is, like... Like, I know TaToH feels like he's got the lead because he has momentum. But look at Mihai. He's got farms. He's got berries. He's got 2 TCs. He's got monks. He can make the 3rd TC. And he's got tons of fires. TaToH needs... I'm noticing small things like the rally point there, not necessarily on the tree. Some idols standing around. He needs to sort out that eco, but it's so tough, man. Nomad is so difficult. They're doing a million different things at once, and he's also got the light cap. He's also stealing that relic. And also, hold up a second. I can't really focus on this too much because this is a very intense game. But just watch this. What on earth was this? Villager getting converted. He dies. And then, he teleports over there. I don't know what just happened. But apparently some freaky things are possible. Light cap from TaToH. Should know the monk is out. I love the fact that Mihai's adding the barracks in the stable to get a little bit of map control. I don't think this monk is going to survive, though. That monk is probably not going to get a relic either. And Mihai's sniping the fish. Finally, it took him some time. He's sniping the fish. Mihai has more Vils. Fishing ship's not really a big factor in this game now. And better eco upgrades for Mihai. Mihai, I think, is going to start to pull, not ahead, but he's gonna end up being in a decent enough position here soon. As I say that, of course, TaToH snipes the fish. TaToH is actually going to fish in the middle, which I think is really resourceful. Mihai is cramped. He's like in this tight little spot on one area of the screen. And anywhere he goes, he's going to see a TaToH unit, it feels like. Like, look at this from his perspective. He knows there's buildings over here. He knows there's a gate here. But TaToH never walled this up. So, this is passable. This is the first time we've seen this. Just confirming. 3 TCs versus 2. TaToH's idle TC time is really high this game. Still no third TC. He's going to go for a siege push. The light cav here should snipe that monk. Beautiful play for TaToH. But Mihai will actually see the siege workshop. Honestly, if you see that siege workshop, I think you cancel this castle, Mihai, and you build the castle on the left. The gutsy play, probably the winning play, is you pressure this choke. That's what he's going to do. You have to respect this potential siege push. Nah, I take it back. I really like this. Because you don't want to react to TaToH anymore. It's a big positive if you could start to threaten TaToH through the front. There's also more stone there. So, like, this castle goes up. You could break through, make some wagons. Take more stone, drop more castles. But then you don't have anything to defend from this. Maybe he would just think about pikemen, but that I would say is the risk here. TaToH catching up on eco upgrades. He's behind in Vills. He does have some fish, but it's mainly about Vills right now. Res collected is super close. Chat, who wins the game? Does TaToH get the job done? Second straight series this would be where he's come back from 2-1 down, by the way, in this tournament. Had to do the same previously against Dragonstar, but Mihai is playing insane. He's going to have the Hussite wagons. He'll break through into TaToH's base. TaToH's going to have to defend and attack with siege, while also having to catch up in economy. Arguably the best game we've had in the entire series, this game right here. But TaToH's got the siege on the hill. And now Mihai needs something, but he does have that stable. He's making some scouts. TaToH knows about that possibility, but I don't think it's enough to make you stop continuing to pressure. You're hoping that your own Lycav can defend the monks that are there. And TaToH is going to try and use a mangonel to take out the wagon, but I guess TaToH's walls weren't down yet. So the wagon gets in, and the monk converts a Vil, and this is all sorts of messy for TaToH at the same time. And for Mihai, though. And Mihai would love a castle here now, but he can't because the siege is here. Yikes, that's so good for Mihai. Such crazy value from that wagon and monk. Here he comes. He added knights, guys. But can he kill the monk? He'll try and kill the monk maybe with the wagons. Oh, that's so worth it for Mihai. That's so good. That's so good. I think so anyways. Yeah, the knights did more than enough. The wagons did more than enough. The next siege weapon from TaToH will go down as well. And now I think Mihai can castle the hill. Wow. TaToH's going to block it with a sheep. He blocks the castle foundation with a sheep. And now the wagon's in the way. Move! I reported this bug, by the way. Like, if a unit is on top of the castle foundation, it walks back and forth. It's really annoying. I hope they fix it, but, I mean, castle's going to go up. Mihai takes the score lead. Mihai could still potentially pressure with Hussite wagons over here. Mihai is going to wall this up so TaToH doesn't come through, and he's going to try and expand into, like, this entire area. Guys, look at the farming eco for Mihai. TaToH is catching up, but, like, Mihai's eco beyond the fish has looked so good. These Hussite wagons are problematic. Monks can convert them, but you need redemption. And then siege can kill them, but you need to be careful if it's a big group. TaToH's TCing this gold. He's also going to wall this up. TaToH has a TC over here on stone and gold. There's no shortage there. I really think Mihai needs imp. Like right now, TaToH has to recover a lot against these wagons. It's going to be a massive investment to do so. And it's going to be a real pain to his economy to have to garrison all the time and whatever else. If Mihai goes imp with 2 castles, soon potentially 3 with the 3rd on the front, TaToH could be out of the tournament in the round of 16. Wagons are just so good. Now, they're not moving, so maybe they're not so good. TaToH's push on the left doesn't work. Yeah, Mihai sold stone. I love the selling of stone. Mihai didn't have the gold for imp. He needs imp right now. Sell the stone. You have enough for another castle. You can always get more stone. Timings are everything. In fact, if you want more stone, you could just drop a castle here. And then you just mine that stone. He also adds a fire galley here to kill TaToH's fish. I guess this wagon ended up getting killed off. TaToH had to spend 500 gold on redemption. Just because of the threat of the wagons. I don't know if this game is necessarily about Hussite wagons anymore. It probably becomes about bombard cannons. Skirms. Wouldn't actually hate Lycav. Just because TaToH has primarily monk defense. And yeah, chemistry should be upgraded rather early here. Because you are Bohemians and you can do that in Castle Age. He's not pushing front. He's adding docks. He's making it transported. Is Mihai getting a little too fancy here right now? I think you push front. TaToH has massive problems. Also over here, TaToH, he wants his TC. That monk's out there looking for a relic. Hussite wagons get the kill. Transport from Mihai. What in the world? Is he going to try a castle drop with 5 vills on that TC? One Hussite wagon gets converted, but Mihai has a couple leftover knights come over to kill the monk that gets the conversion. They're on stand ground, though. Monk goes down. This is really awkward for TaToH, but he has clicked up. We have devotion now for Mihai, so the monks aren't as strong for TaToH. This is all fine for Mihai. Like, this is just an area that TaToH can't secure because of this pressure. That's fine. And oh god, he's transporting over vills. I mean, TaToH could deny this one with a tower. Unless the Hussite wagons arrive! How can you fit them in there, game? Well, it's not working. That's actually a really big deal. The transport needs to get closer to the shoreline. They won't hop in, but the castle's going to go up. There we go. Hussite wagons can fit somehow. And TaToH's just fleeing. On the left, though, TaToH's getting a TC up there. Here, there's a couple random knights from Mihai. But now there's the Hussite wagons. TaToH doesn't know what to make. Mihai. We haven't seen a single tread from him yet. I do think maybe in some small ways getting a little bit fancy. Honestly, a tread push right up the middle just gives TaToH some massive problems. But if he could do that, and he can also do this... This is not TaToH's imp TC, by the way. That's a wheelbarrow TC. All the better for him. The Hussite wagons, ever since they've shown up, have been such a problem. Everywhere you look, they're so difficult to kill. You need, like, so many monks at siege to pay attention to them. And when the game is this crazy, it's so tricky. TaToH is imp now, finally. But Lycav's not going to cut it. He's got 1 monk. Maybe needs to make more to convert the wagons. And Mihai is just patrolling around with these thick boys. That's the game plan. You make Lycav. You make Archer. Mihai just makes the food trucks. And he's getting an elite Hussite wagon as well. Wow, he's really committing to this. Wasn't expecting. I actually thought it was just going to be 5 to 10 and then he would stop and he'd go into Howled. But he's really committing long term here. Also getting Wagenburg tactics, which makes him a little bit faster. Is elite Hussite wagon good if TaToH can get a couple monks out? If TaToH can still get some shots with mangonels. We've established mangonels aren't enough if good micro's involved. They've got 230 HP with 13 base attack. I don't think light calves are going to cut it. So much of TaToH's eco has to be idled because of 5 units running in towards his eco. What a game for Mihai. And Mihai's got Pike as well. Like, this is just such a crazy comp. TaToH needs Siege. He needs Skirms. He needs Gold. Like, it's not like he doesn't have access, but he can't get all the Vils on the Gold right now. He's fighting off with Villagers and Light Cav and just whatever he can to kill them off because it's so messy. Maybe TaToH could play with Water Control in the south. Even there, Mihai just converted a ship. This is so messy for TaToH. I don't know what he can really do right now. He wanted that map control. Remember, he wanted to control the middle opening. And it was busted down. The gate was taken down by the castle drop from Mihai. The left side with all of TaToH's buildings. This was supposed to be an area that TaToH was securing. But he could not do it. And Mihai's just got wagons and so many different annoying areas. He's got Pike now as well. Soon going to be Halb. And the 3rd seed TaToH, one of the favorites for this tournament, about to be knocked out in the round of 16 to Mihai. I'm not seeing a way back. If this castle even completes, then it's done. It's gone. There's trebuchets already. It won't complete. It's a doubt castle for TaToH. So all this area is lost. Here, he does actually take a treb. But he did lose his TC. I'm not sure Mihai's necessarily worried about that at 200 pop. The choke point can't be utilized by TaToH because it's walled up, so it's not like he can delete walls there. Transporting would be incredibly awkward. Remember, this was TaToH's #1 civilization pick. This was the civ that he felt was the key for victory here. Just like Mihai thought in game number 2 with Huns on Boundary Brawl. All right, here we go. Light Cav raid. I mean, it's going to be tough to raid. Mihai could build castles everywhere. That's kind of the issue right now. There's a castle here. There's a castle here. Mihai could just stack another castle maybe over here to the left. TaToH is going to try and raid, though. That's his only way back in the game. Because he can't fight the wagons. He can't fight the Halbs. Vils will die. But it will take time. And more upgrades are flying in from Mihai. And he just keeps rolling into TaToH's base. Always making sure that he's not giving TaToH time to think, stabilize, fix that eco. Yep, rolling into town over here as well. I think TaToH's dead, guys. I would need to see this raid kill 20 Vils. Heresy now! He spends on 1k gold on Heresy. Which is smart. TaToH doesn't really have many monks, but he has the extra gold. So you might as well get it. It's super worth it. He's got 50 on gold with the civ with free gold mining upgrades. He's rich. And the Hussite wagons are completely ending TaToH's chances right now. Even if TaToH kills those 30 Vils. You're not killing the wagons and the Halbs. And TaToH's just sitting here like, no. Probably can't believe it. Again, maybe a small aspect is if TaToH isn't at home at the moment, if he is playing at a LAN, like a community LAN in an area away from his home base, maybe it affected him a little bit today. I think it's fair to say maybe it did. But guys, like, how many times have we seen a top talent, a top 5, not perform their best as TaToH is Vil fighting back, and they still win, right? Like, we see it very consistently. For top talents, don't play their best and still win. And Mihai is one of those top talents himself now. Super smooth, super consistent. What a great play from him. I mean, with how well TaToH had played in previous games when he gained momentum, I was really concerned for Mihai. Because he was getting hit on the left, and he wasn't able to advance forward through the middle. I felt like it was really good strategic decisions from TaToH to try and play it the way he did. But what he ultimately ended up missing out on here was the macro. Like, he did some great things to kill the fish, get some fishing ships of his own, but Mihai was on those towns that are so fast. He transitioned into the farms. He also killed TaToH's fish. And then he just pushed everything back. He pushed back in the middle. He took all this land on the right. He systematically took the left. I mean, Mihai played an amazing series here. So that's an upset. I know seed 14 versus seed 3 isn't as big a gap as some of the other upsets we've seen in this tournament. But still, that's a pretty big one for the balance of power. Well played to Mihai. He will move on to the quarterfinals. We can pull up the bracket here in a second to see who he'll face. Guys, an issue the Bengalis can have sometimes is they don't know what unit to make. Typically, when the Bengalis win, it's because they gain a massive eco lead, and then they can make elephants, or they can convert what other people make, or they could just make a bunch of trash units with superior eco. Look at the KD here. And look at the eco. 60k res collected versus 47k. So you can look at this. I know some people have like an emotional hatred of the Hussite wagon. And for those that hate the unit and think it's stupid and you know, maybe balanced wrong and blah, 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 you could type a 1 in chat just to give people a gauge. But like that aside, Mihai's mid-game play before the first wagon even came out was good enough to win this game. I think he could have actually gone Halb alone. Halb Bombard Cannon still pushes, still has a lot of success here. He just had that big a lead. Super well played. And so, again, I want to look at the bracket again because I'm not actually sure. I want to see what that means for Mihai's potential opponents. We have 7 more sets in the round of 16 upcoming. We'll talk about that here in a sec. But as TaToH crashes out, it will be Mihai against the winner of Vinchester and Hart next week in the quarterfinal. And then who knows, man? I mean, if you beat TaToH, you should on paper be able to beat pretty much everyone else that's left in this tournament. So big sets to come, obviously. Haranikov, Doubt Leary, Sebastian Andy, TaToH, Viper MBL, ACCM Barrels, and then Vinchester Hart. All crazy sets. But yeah, unfortunately, no more today.